can straight up disagree, say that's not the way to look at things. But France, with their army, is going to look at it the way they want.
Yeah, man,
I support the French foreign legion.
Wait, let's explain, because I think it's understanding here. That's what's understanding. Let me explain to you what's going on. I issue the currency for everyone in this room. You guys can only use my currency. And whatever resources you have, I pay with that currency. And you have rights to no other currency. So that's what's happening today. So France goes to those countries in Africa and say, I want your cobalt. I'm going to pay with the currency that I print out of thin air and give it to you, and you have to accept it. And everyone in your country has to accept and use the same currency. You have no rights to your own central bank and to your own currency. That's what's happening. Michael, go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, I was saying,
France pays in the euros, the African countries, Nigeria,
Michael.
Sorry, go ahead.
King.
Pay with raw, excuse me.
King.
I agree with what Marvin said a while back about the Ukraine racial war. It concerns all of Western Europe, and no country in Western Europe can say, well, it doesn't affect us. But with immigration, it's a little bit different, because I noticed in this room there are two different points of view on immigration, right? There's some people in this room who are
My darling, I'm so happy you're in love with me. Not many women are comfortable or confident enough to be in love with Judas. But Judas wasn't that bad of a guy. He was necessary. He was a necessary evil. He did the right thing. He did what Jesus needed him to do, just at the right time, at the right moment. Anyways, I'm glad you're in love.
we didn't create this problem. Why should we have to take any of these people? And Norway's not a member of the EU. They chose to not join the EU because of that. And so there is a point in respecting that. And the last thing I'll say is just about the French currencies issued in Africa. In Africa, a lot of the countries, frankly, they have not been managing their currencies properly. Like, you've got countries where there's rampant inflation, and to be perfectly frank with you, I think a lot of people in those areas are actually happy to take the French-controlled currency. So I don't feel as if it's impressive.
What is
Well, we don't know. You are not aware of any political developments over the last 5 years, and it's clear, bro. Have you heard about Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, by any chance?
If you could push France, you would. If you haven't, you can't.
They are literally doing that in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger.
Okay, so
It has caused major problems for the French economy, because now they have to pay 4 times the amount of money for the uranium. Also, France directly controls the currencies of these countries because they imposed the franc, which they don't even use themselves anymore. France has been paying in the euro, but they imposed the franc on these quote-unquote post-colonial countries.
You have to realize that
Your statement makes no sense at all.
They're their companies, their organizations, and they're issuing the stock certificates they value in those regions for their purposes, because they feel they built the damn thing.
Yep.
So it goes from the beginning of time. I mean, from the Mesopotamia, when the trade was invented, it wasn't really about, for the whole history of humanity, it was about trade. It was one of the things that happened when people started trading in the dawn of our civilization. So when we reached out to other places around us and we started trading, the Dutch, the Portuguese, the English, the French, it was all about trade. And you guys seem to be missing this point. We're still doing the same thing.
Okay,
we're still trading.
Again, this is why I said none of you on this stage knows what you're talking about. I'm sorry. First of all, so some people who say that the CFA is good or bad, they could be right. For example, I am from Nigeria. The West African countries who use the CFA use it as a hedge against the Naira. And let me explain to you. So when it favors them, they complain about France and the CFA. But when it doesn't favor them, they try to use the CFA as a hedge. It makes no sense that Cameroon, again, at least you guys should read, and white people should read more and know about this stuff.
talk about.
Why should I know about
Okay,
Cameroon?
can you please
It
shut up,
doesn't
man?
interest me.
Can you please shut up? Can you please shut up, man? I don't like
You're making a good point that
Let me
Africa is
finish.
not like
I'm one man right here.
tells the
So
specifics of how Cameroon is hedging its bets with
Yes, can I finish, guys, please? Now let me explain why Cameroon is a unique country. Cameroon was technically not colonized by the French, it was colonized by the British, which is why it's a member of the Commonwealth. But you know the currency the Cameroonians use? The Cameroonians use the CFA. That doesn't make any sense. Why would a country that was colonized by the British, right, still be hedging for a currency other French colonized nations use in West Africa, Benin Republic?
And speaking French, by the way.
Maybe because of the colonial history of some of their neighbors?
Yeah, fair, no, well, fair, that could be part of it. But I'm saying that the people, now, don't get me wrong. Again, it's about trade. They trade as a currency.
Oh my God, can you stop interrupting? You've not been
I'm saying these African tribes or nations or kingdoms have existed just as long as France has. Like, they're not new to this game.
It's not about trade. It's not about trade. Can I finish, please?
So, if you know what is happening, in certain regions of old Nigeria, they were using other currencies. Now, quiet. Now, the problem is they used, as somebody made it, I think it was Max said, they used the French as a hedge against bigger countries. So what they do is that if they feel that the naira is going to be strong, and so you know what, let's stick with the CFA. Now, whenever they want to complain about France interruption, France colonization, they say, oh, the CFA is bad. Why are the nations not coming together and say, it doesn't make any sense that you have to go to France to print out your currency? That doesn't make any sense. Now, we can blame them on colonization, but they pick and choose whenever they want to use those terms. Now, what is the solution for me? Let the CFA stop being the dominant currency in the Francophone countries, especially those in West Africa. But the question we are going to ask ourselves, which is a very painful question, is that what would happen to those economies that have built themselves around the oligarchy and monopoly of France? Will they survive if the CFA is broken down?
Yeah, I agree.
See, I think it's really only the Americans that can, like, plead ignorance on colonialism, right? It's not like the old world. No, I'm serious. Like, the old world has seen Alexander, Caesar, Rome, Byzantine, like, Asia, India kingdoms. Like, I don't think that the old world is like, what? Colonialism? Where'd that come from? Only the Americans really get that as a claim. Like, the natives here, they just had no conception of what the West was capable of. But the rest of the world, they always were playing the exact same games.
You're either strong or you're not. Everybody's playing the same game, fair and square. Whereas the
No, the Americans genuinely were ignorant. They didn't know what the heck was going on in London.
Yeah, dude, listen. If the Americans weren't to lay these underwater fiber optic cable lines, I would assume that we wouldn't be having this conversation at the moment. Yeah, I mean, presumably it takes a little bit more than coming on here and, crying.
It takes more. What takes more?
Laying fiber optic cables under the seas and the Red Sea or whatever.
Oh,
so we can connect to the internet.
Big conference rooms.
Yeah, colonialism. Cry louder. Yes.
Colonialism?
Yeah, I don't understand. Wait, hold on.
I don't understand what laying
fiber cables. Internet, iPhones.
He's trying to troll, but I feel like he's lost his brain.
What does that have to do with anything?
Cars, underwear. Okay. Look, these things take a lot of hard work. We can talk about it all day long, but there's somebody doing all this hard work.
I can explain what you're talking about.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
What he's trying to say, and I could be wrong. Look, I wanna say something that maybe is not explain this. Laying cables are done by private companies, not by governments. If you're defending that France provide these X, Y, Z, this is the private sector looking for a new market. There's no cable that is laid under the sovereignty.
And if the currency happens to be francs, that could work out, right?
Excuse me.
Those cables, hold on, let him finish. You guys, come on.
Those cables are owned by private companies, with the exception of China. I do not know any other country France.
Well, you're for strong.
Can I just skepticism when people deny the existence of a state?
You're
Okay,
for
but
strong.
just tell me, Freddie, up front, what's your point, and then back it up.
Okay, the bluff, right? Up front.
Yes.
You want strong central federal government telling you how to do these things. We don't want that because you guys are retarded.
No, that's not.
Okay,
That's
I
cool.
want to talk about the
We're wrong
African
because we're
currencies
dumb.
again. What I want to say
Who's the we man talking about, Frederick?
Is the Democratic Party building Audis, BMWs, Bidens?
Oh my God, the Democratic Party with the Seattle band.
Okay, anyway, let's get back. Let's get back to the core city. Hello.
And Georgia.
Hello. Gosh. I'm not going to say anything. Look, let's get back to the core issue here, which is imperialism that France has positioned or placed against countries within Africa and how that impacts immigration. That's the real conversation. Okay, let's not get sidetracked.
Good. So what I want to say about this is that I think that there was this debate a moment ago because I said the thing about how the countries have adopted the West, the CFA franc and all that in Africa, and other people were counter-arguing against me with the imperialism.
Well, I don't think they adopted it, Michael. That's the problem. I think they were forced.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
What I would say is these two things can be simultaneously the case. It can be a situation where, France is benefiting from exerting control in this situation, right? And they guarantee the value of the currency as long as the central banks of all of these countries keep some of their foreign reserves in the French treasury, right? So it looks a bit exploitative. But simultaneously, these countries, these sovereign states, right, like Burkina Faso or Niger or Mali, they could pull out of it if they wanted to. And so they choose the stability because you all understand how incredibly bad it is to have unstable currencies.
But Michael,
Are you aware of Mali at this point in time?
Yeah, hold on, Michael. I don't think they're choosing. I don't think the countries. Hold on. Hold on. The countries aren't choosing to stay in these situations. They have been forced. They have handcuffs on. So it's not really a buy-in option.
Let me give you a story, please. Again, I'm West African. I'm from Nigeria.
Okay, but go quickly.
Let me tell you why. Why am I agree with you that they are forced? They also use it as a hedge. And I'll give you one. When we wanted to create the ECO, this was when I was still a diplomat. ECOWAS is a unit. ECOWAS is the sub-region of Economic Community of West African States. When they wanted to create a sub-region, do you know what these countries did? They went to France and hedged the CFA against the Naira. Nigeria is the strongest country in the ECOWAS sub-region. There are only 4 English-speaking countries in ECOWAS: Liberia, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, and Ghana. The Francophone countries, via the minus the Portuguese-speaking South Tome, went and hedged the CFA and said the currency should be related more to the CFA because of France. So that thing died because the French colonies wanted to hedge their CFA against the Naira. Because if it was left to the cities and Naira, they are much stronger. Now there's something we signed called the International ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme, which allows countries within the ECOWAS sub-region to sell goods produced in ECOWAS countries in other nations. The French-speaking countries went again and hedged themselves against the English-speaking. So why am I agree with you that they are being held in a checkbook? At the other side, they use it as a hedge against other countries that don't use the CFA. That's my point. So while I might feel sympathetic to them, it's that famous them. Thank you very much.
Look, various activities are always going to exist, but that's an interesting point. And if you could just speak a little slower and a little less loud, it'll probably be easier for us to understand. Your accent is very heavy, as you are aware.
That was a line from Sahara. They've had it as like a running joke that nobody cares about Africa.
Is that Matthew McConaughey movie?
Yep, with Steve Zahn and that British guy played the African warlord.
Let me
I think it was
also
on
tell another story, if you don't mind. So, Marvin, let me
Slow
ask you a
down.
question.
Just slow down.
Okay, yeah. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that America is not an imperialist nation? Let me tell you what saves America from all this crisis France is going through. It's just geography. Simple.
What?
Geography is. Let me explain to you. So if you know how Africa is, again, for people that know these things.
Africa is a mess.
Yeah, hold on, no, I'm not even talking about that. Yeah, to say that. But if you look at where Niger is, so from Niger you enter Libya. From Libya, where do you go to? You enter the sea, and you come to maybe Italy, or you go through Morocco. So it's easier for when this crisis occur for them to go to these European nations. Now, don't get me wrong. If the European nations wants to pay the Libyan armed guards and the Libyan naval ships to take immigrants, I don't have any problem with that. I mean, not that I believe that white people are not capable of doing that. They can do that. But we have to look at why France, Europe will suffer the consequences and America will not. Because America is just too far. You can barely be on the Lampoon boat and come to America. It's too far. So America enjoys the geography of some of the failures that they've done. For example, the Middle East. Now, America's own crisis is simple, the border. I mean, you don't have people that really come and have genuine bad intentions to kill your country. And if all these border people you guys cry about were like maybe the immigrants that come on the ships and come to France, I think America would change, but they're not like that. So those are the consequences, or will I say advantages America has, that is just too far. But France itself has created certain problems that other European countries will have to suffer. But the question is, and I'm not going to lie, is let's be fair. Some of these problems in these countries were not created by France. They were created by the people. Like the crisis in Niger. Again, I stand on my foot 10 toes down. That had nothing to do with France. Why? Because the current president, and Niger is a country I know very, very well. I've been there 5 times. 5 good times to do work. The current president cannot tell me he's not a corrupt person. Tiani is his name. He was the presidential guard of brigade general. This is a man that that collects bribes from the French government. So what politics, what theories he comes to do? It's all a power tussle. Those countries, Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, as far as I'm concerned, they are failed countries. Whether they isolate themselves.
Okay, going back talking about internet cables.
Okay, can you please shut up? Can you please shut up? Let me finish. I've been there. You don't know those countries.
You know, it's exactly like Frederick was saying before. What Africa needs is a strong federal government.
So let me finish, Matt. So you have an example of it, right? Can you white please keep quiet? You don't know what you're saying.
Whoa, that's racist.
Dude, what's the deal with the black and white thing?
Hold on. Ever since I moved to America, I became race conscious. Now, you see why I don't like arguing with you guys. It's very strange.
Listen, the fact that you're black
people live in
doesn't
Africa
give you any.
too.
Hold on. The fact that you're black doesn't give you any priority in
Okay.
just grabbing Mars and gold and stuff. So, please, can you land your plane quickly, Oji?
Okay, let me finish. But people have said offensive things about Africans, and I didn't interrupt. So me saying white people is not a problem. But let me move on. So this idea that those countries, Mali, Niger,
I am highly critical of the political scene on the continent of Africa.
Can I finish, please, Marcel?
I don't think that's
Niger,
racist.
Burkina Faso.
If I had a dollar, I'd probably sit right there.
Can I finish? Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso have all had strong leaders. They've all had people that were military men that ruled and nothing happened. Now, let me tell you why I'm not happy about what happened in Niger. Niger is so close to Nigeria. Quickly. Can I speak? David, what's wrong with you? Niger is so close to Nigeria. What the United States and the French army were doing is what I support. They were fighting the Islamists. Now, my own is I fight Islamists. My job is to fight Islamists. I don't care if I support white people to do it. If they are fighting Islamists, I'm with them. Agadez, Google this place, Agadez provided an opportunity for the American army to stop the Islamists. The Nigerians cannot stop the Islamists. Now, Agadez is a shithole. They have Islamists controlling tons of land and spaces. I wonder what will happen to Nigeria because it's so easy for them to just come through. They have shared borders. 10
about to shoot your plane.
Honestly, if the Muslims want Africa, they can have it.
It's not yours to give.
Oh, I have no dog in this fight. My people have never been near Africa.
I thought your people were in Egypt. That's the best part of Africa.
Egypt is as little African as you can get.
Well, if you look at the map, you know that's not
Hold on.
true.
This room is not about Egypt. That's fine. We're gonna. This room is about. This room. Hold on. Calm down. Everybody just calm down.
The Mediterranean belongs to the North.
That's fine. Exactly. That's fine. Okay. All right. Look, you guys. I don't know why the same players, Odion, Nixed, David, and now Yakubu, want to behave this way. Just gonna push you down in the gulag.
I haven't really said anything.
That's okay. I'll help you understand how you're behaving. Because it just gets frustrating, right? We have this great conversation, and then people just can't participate, and it's just like waste time. So anyway, back to the
Immigration.
well, part of immigration, but what I want to introduce is I want to understand what people believe is the result of yesterday's election in France. Like, how does that? First of all, who is more knowledgeable than me, because I know nothing about the election for yesterday, can give us a quick rundown on what exactly happened at WTF? Anyone wants to lead off?
Were the Africans not following the French politics?
I follow all politics, man, more than any other person. I follow French. I mean, I went to France 5 times. That's fine. But can someone answer my?
Somebody removed me. What a loser.
Why do you think God doesn't still use that manna from the sky to feed all those starving children? If He can do it very.
I can answer that question for Roland. Roland, you are a moron. It's called a metaphor.
No, I don't see mine as a metaphor. I see it actually as a real thing that happened. And the thing is that, there's people that could be cut off from mine, and there's people who have an abundance of it, right? And so a lot of it has to do with there's a lot of factors. It's not one factor, but everything that we receive, like if we go to work, we may think like, oh, I worked, I made money, but really, it's really like that allotment of wealth or sustenance, whatever you want to call it, that was given to you by God, right? And so that's what the mind was training the Israelites to be able to understand, that everything they receive is from God, everything they receive from the heavens, as a preparation for going into the land of Israel, which there's an abundance of physicality, right? So you had to learn that principle while out in the desert. So really,
my question is more so like, we have like children who are like orphaned and starving to death every day, right? And I'm saying like, if it doesn't cost God anything, He can't just feed them on as well.
So on that point, so that goes back to like a fundamental principle, which is like, what is the purpose of life? Like, why are we here? And in the traditional belief system is that every soul comes into this world, for a purpose. Every soul in this world comes into this world and has a certain correction. And so the reality that we're born into, no matter what it is, no matter how crazy it is, how dysfunctional it is, that reality that we come into is the most perfect reality for ourselves.
Well, that's pretty fucked up though, right? Because I mean, presumably, like a 2-year-old or a 1-year-old dying of starvation in like horrendous pain. Starving isn't a fun thing to die from, right? Presumably, right? They don't have the ability to learn lessons. So they're just, they're dead at like 1 year old.
No. Again, it goes back into the dominant entity is the soul, right?
No, I get that, but they're not having any character development. They're not learning from the experience. They know pain from the time they're born, and they die in pain. So I mean, that's like other people are learning.
But you're saying, number one, what I'm saying has nothing to do with making the effort to help people in need. That's number one. So I'll make that clear. But the point that I'm saying to you is, we can't look at reality and use our mindset and say, oh, because I think this is how this should be.
What other mindsets do you have access to?
Huh? focus our mind, and we do have directives on how to understand the different life scenarios that exist for various different people around planet Earth. And we should fight to help people in need. We should fight for things. However, we have to understand that every condition, every situation that someone's in is perfect for them. Now,
that's bizarre, though, right? Because
it's bizarre because you're using your intellect.
Well, then what other intellect do you have?
Hold on, Roland. You're asking a lot of hypothetical questions. You're asking question after question after question. It's just not a conversation, Roland. That's not a conversation.
It's a fair question. Why didn't God provide them honor?
Well, it's just to say, like, I've heard this criticism, or I've heard this response to this criticism before, and essentially, like, what you're providing is, like, the NPC directive of God, right? Where it's like, well, these 2-year-olds can get fucked, but the people around them are going to learn from this experience, because there's no, like, character growth or change that
Roland, he's saying he has exclusive material. He has exclusive documents that these people don't have, and thus that's why their lives are in shambles.
But it's just to say, though, that there's no, like, growth. The 2-year-old or the 1-year-old.
You don't know. You can't say that. You can
dying. No, I absolutely can say that.
How?
I'm explaining how, right? I was literally saying because, and then you said you can't say that. What I'm saying is that the 2-year-old, right, doesn't have time to develop that character growth, right? They don't have time to develop their personality. So I don't know how you. I mean, the only thing you could say is something like maybe they're more used to pain, but they don't get to even utilize that being more used to pain because they're dead. Right? It's not like they're growing from the experience and changing as a result of it. So at best, all you could say is that the people around them are learning from the experience of the 2-year-old dying in pain, right? Which is fucking horrendous to do. So like I'm going to harm a child to teach somebody else. Right?
I'm not saying that. So you need to go.
So what growth is the 2-year-old getting if they're dead?
Okay, so the point is like this. And I see where the dilemma is. The dilemma is that you see pain and pleasure as coming from two separate entities, right? And pain and pleasure both in our tradition comes from the same source. And so the aspect of experiencing pain is just as much a part of our growth as experiencing
they're
pleasure.
Not growing, they're dead.
No, the point is no. But what I'm saying to you is saying
what's growing though? They're dead.
If you want to hear, I can explain. Right, just like you said to me, right? And so the way that we understand it is that the soul is here for specific corrections. So if I go through a life, say a guy goes through a lifetime and he starts 15 businesses and none of them ever works and goes his whole life barely making any money, right? But through that process and all those failed experiences, I know you're gonna say we're talking about a 2-year-old, right? But through all those different failed experiences, that person grew in very specific ways that he wouldn't have grown if he had a ton of success.
But you're not making sense with the hypothetical I provide. You're not even responding to it.
I'm trying to get to it.
But again, you're talking about an adult again. I'm saying.
No, I'm trying to get to it.
So the 2-year-old soul needs the experience of shooting themselves to death.
You don't want to hear what I'm saying.
But I want you to respond to specific. I want you to respond to specific. Buddy, listen. I want you to respond to the specific hypothetical.
No, you want to control me.
I'm talking about.
Your approach to life.
No, because this doesn't answer the question. Right?
No, I will get to the question.
Can I just provide the distinction because what you're saying is
no. You should let me finish what I'm saying and then respond to what I said.
So again, respond to it's not a grown person. We're talking about a 2-year-old dying of dysentery. They're literally shitting themselves to death. Respond to that specific one.
I'm responding and I'm asking not for you to try to impose control over me. You asked the question.
Well, just don't talk about the adult.
I can respond the way that I want to.
I mean, you can respond to something that has to be asked. That's fine.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's part
of
the
I'm not going to ask it again, I guess.
That's part of free will, right? And it's ability for me. I have the ability to express myself the way I want to, right? So what I was saying was, again, a person comes into this world to correct a certain aspect of their soul, right? It's called tikkun, correction, right? This person can start 15 businesses. And all these businesses can fail. And someone can say, like, you know what? This guy learned, this guy failed in every business that he did, right? That's how it looks to us, right? But on another level, that process that he went through with all those businesses and the different forms of victory, memories that he had, and the different types of growth was exactly what his soul needed in his lifetime. So in the same way that a person may come into a lifetime and just experience a year of immense pain. It could come after the end of 40 years, it could come at the end of 1 year, whatever it is, but that they're going through that and going through that process at different conscious levels, right? Because the person could have it as a child, someone could have it as a teenager, someone could have it as adult, whatever it is, that experience was exactly what that soul needed for this glimpse of time to finish off the spiritual work that they weren't able to do in their prior lifetime. You understand? Because this is an ongoing thing.
So just to clarify, and make sure I'm hearing this correctly. So the 1-year-old needed the experience, right? So all they did was they were born, they cried, they breathed, they ate, and then they shit themselves to death via dysentery from dirty water and not enough food and not enough nutrition, and they died in hell, right? In wait 1 second, in fucking horrendous pain, right?
Yeah.
And that's what that soul needed, just to be born and die in horrendous pain from starvation.
In that lifetime, and then they go to another lifetime and they have another.
No, but what's the learning experience? It's just pain. It's just torture.
But in order to understand that, we would have to understand all the prior lifetimes of what that soul experienced, and then from there we can deduce why God felt it was important in this particular
to torture somebody
to have this type of experience, right?
Torture. Because that's what it is. Torture. Yeah, because again, that's what it is, right? It's torture.
Okay, yeah. And God chose for us to experience that in this lifetime.
To torture somebody.
To be tortured, it's all connected to.
So you worship a being that tortures babies.
And creates them too.
That's horrible.
Yeah, he creates them. He gives them life.
To
He
torture.
sustains their life. That's how you're saying.
You just agreed to it. You said yes. He needed to torture that soul. That soul needed to be tortured.
That soul, yeah, exactly.
That's terrible, dude. I don't know why. I truly don't understand why people worship beings that openly admit. 1 second, they openly admit that this being tortures their children, and they're like, well,
But he creates all the children in the world.
So I wouldn't if I had the ability to create life. Let's say I had the
not
ability.
just life, everything that exists, even your ability.
No, I understand, but let's say I had the ability.
Now, there's permission was given in the heavens for you to breathe. Right
Yeah, but I'm just saying, as a human being, even I understand this, right?
Yeah,
Let's say you tell me what I'm gonna say, because you keep interrupting. So
I'm just saying you're only able to breathe because of the same.
So what was I going to say out of curiosity? Because you interrupted me 3-4 times.
No, I'm saying to you, you only can breathe because of the source.
Right, I get that. But my point is this, though, is that presumably, let's say I created some new life form, right, with sentience and thought, and I would recognize that just because I created this thing doesn't mean that I have agency over it. That this is the light, right? This isn't something for me to manipulate and harm and do things like that too. It's like this weird special pleading thing that's applied to God, and it's just bizarre to me. That's why generally I think that when people are invoking God in these senses, it's like a might makes right argument, because there's nothing intuitively moral about that. The idea that a being would torture a child, right, and that would be necessary, right, to torture and make somebody die in horrendous pain for no reason, right, or at least no discernible reason, right? So all this appeal to ignorance of, well, there must be a reason because God does good things, but there's no kind of discernible reason that we can identify, right? But yet still there's this worship of this being that we know is at least torturing children, right? And then the question is, why is he torturing children? And the answer is well, God's ways are higher than ours, which really isn't an answer for anything. It's just an appeal to ignorance fallacy. So it's where are we going with this, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, at the end of the day, listening to you, it's some people say, and people have said it to me, why bother trying to teach people who are not Jewish?
Not an answer to anything, though.
Right? No, but I'm serious. They say that because there's the idea that you don't really have the intellectual capacity to even understand.
Yeah, it's just an add-on. I mean, I definitely have the intellectual capacity, but you're not providing a.
No, because you're trying to use some little base academic logic, deductive reasoning to understand.
So invalidate it.
No, but I'm saying to be able to understand something just for perfect example. I'll invalidate you really quickly. Okay, because this is not a challenge. Okay, I'm saying I'm collecting conversation, but I'll do it. So do you accept quantum physics?
I don't know enough about quantum physics.
Okay, you don't accept it. Okay, so quantum physics teaches the idea. It says that the human eye, right, sees less than 1% of reality, right? That's what the human eye does. The human eye sees less than 1% of reality. And not only that, the human eye doesn't see anything. The human eye absorbs light particles, and those light particles go into the back of the brain, and that's where images are formed, right? So the reality that we're experiencing in terms of imagery is connected to the information of sound and other senses formulating an image. So quantum physics is also saying that there's a whole 99% that's happening around us all the time, and they call it string theory, these different points around it, whatever. But there's energy vibrations, right? So you have like molecules, electrons.
So why are you bringing string theory into quantum physics?
Because quantum physics, because string theory is a base principle that quantum physics uses to.
No, string theory is something that is first of all is theoretical, not in the sense of like a scientific theory that's derived that is basically a fact. Well, string theory is largely rejected, right? It's something that doesn't have a basis. It really doesn't have anything to do with quantum physics.
Fair enough. But the point is saying there's an understanding, right, regardless of what science you want to use or what scientist, is that there's a reality that we cannot see around us, right? We cannot see through the five senses. We cannot connect through the five senses, right? We have, there's a lot of different ways to explain this idea, right?
Are you just trying to get to the fact that we can't see all the reasons that a god might want to do this? Is that really what we're bloviating for right now?
No. And so the thing is to say that, so this idea that if I accept right now that I have limited ability to see what's going on around me, how do I engage into this 99% that's happening around me, right? And then even when I look at myself physically, right, I can see someone else's body, right? But we have a belief that every human being has a soul, right? And so this concept that a soul exists inside of a body, right? So when a body's dead, there's no soul inside of it. And so this idea that there's a soul is also a part of this understanding that you maybe learn out the quantum physics, right? That there's a whole 99% connected to the human being that we can't see. So
it's not an argument, though.
I'm not making an argument. I'm just creating a premise.
But there's no premise here. All you're saying is that there might be things we don't know. Sure. Okay.
No. I'm not saying that we don't know. I'm saying that we're functioning in a world that we're only seeing 1%.
Yes, there are things that we don't know about our reality. Sure. Okay.
Okay. Fair enough. So the point is saying that understanding of how to engage into that 99% reality, this is the system of the Torah. This is why God gave us a Torah, because we are supposed to engage in the physical and
So you just did exactly what I said you were going to do. I said, so you're doing all this posturing simply to say that there are reasons that he's doing things that we don't understand. That's literally what I just said.
I'm talking about the.
You're saying that we can't discern the why in these things.
No,
that's fine, but
no, you're going somewhere else.
So then just put it logistically. You don't have to do it in this long drawn out way. Just premise.
What I'm saying to you is that you are not experiencing full reality if you're not connecting your soul to that 99%.
So that's not an answer to anything that I said, though.
Okay.
It's just you saying again, like, look, respectfully, each answer that you're providing to what I'm asking you is just an appeal to ignorance fallacy. You know what that is, right? Like, it's like you saying that you have knowledge on something on account of the fact that you don't know why, but you're saying that it functions this way just because, right? But you can't justify it. So you're just like, well, I believe that this guy does these good things. I can't justify that this is actually the case, but I'm going to assume it regardless and use this for my answers going forward. Right?
Have you ever looked at a welder, like take like a piece of metal and then put it over something very, very hot, and he's like banging it in these different directions, right?
Sure.
And then from there, in shape is created, right? So what I'm saying to you is saying that the development of the soul, like I don't know what the welder is going to make at the end. I don't know what it looks like. All I know is that it's hitting in this direction, in that direction, this direction. It's leaving on the fire for this one. So, but it's molding it into a shape. So unless he told me ahead of time what he was doing, I'm just walking in, looking at what's going
But
on.
this is exactly what I'm saying, though. What you're invoking is an appealed ignorance fallacy again. This is the fourth one.
Okay, but what I'm saying is saying that.
You're just providing different analogies to say the same fallacy over and over again.
Okay, but the point is the same.
But because you get what I'm saying, though, when I'm saying you're invoking a fallacy, right? You do understand that.
No, but the point.
Like, this is a defined logical fallacy. It is, though. I've explained to you why.
Can I tell you why it's not a fallacy?
You can try.
Because you don't have enough of a background for me to explain that concept.
Yeah, it doesn't follow. But so
it just doesn't, because it's not elementary. I mean, you could. So when
no, I do it. Again, you keep saying he's like, I'm not saying anything about your knowledge, right? All I'm saying is that the answers. Look, the only thing that we can work with one another on, right, is exactly what we're speaking about and the words that we're using. For you to keep like appealing to the fact that you're assuming I don't have such knowledge. But each time, Rabbi, each time, look, I'm starting to think you don't have the knowledge because each time I'm asking this question, right, and I've told you the specific fallacy you're invoking, you're saying the same answer again.
I'm not.
You're saying the same thing again, but with a different analogy.
No, I'm not. The first time I
God, giving me AI, quantum physics, and string theory. You're all over the place, but you're still not.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to understand into it. The point I'm saying to you is, I told you in the beginning, when you see a child, okay, or anybody that's innocent going through a horrific experience and that soul leaves this world through it, they had to go through that as part of their experience in this lifetime. That's all I'm saying to you. And then you didn't want to accept that.
I'll say.
You didn't want to accept that. So then
what I'm asking you is prove it. So you're saying that you know a thing in virtue of what? Right? Because you've read it and you believe it to be the case. I'm saying, what is the utility that's being derived from torturing a baby? Right? So you're just saying that soul just needed a little bit more torture to be in the right shape?
At that lifetime, yeah.
Does that not sound fucked to you?
No.
So that God needed to torture this poor person's child just enough to fix the soul? Had to make it shit itself to death and bleed to death out of the rectum, just enough to fix the shape?
It's just funny hearing like you people like talk like they had to do the rectum and they had to almost die.
No, but the reason I'm using this language isn't simply
because your basis point isn't strong enough.
No. I'll explain.
God takes it away. He takes it away.
Yes, I understand.
Okay,
Look, the reason that I'm using this crass language is
because it's mediocre. It's mediocre.
Well, no, it's not that it's mediocre. I'm trying to explain why. The reason that I'm using
I know why.
Why?
Because your point isn't strong enough.
No, that's not why. The reason. No, it's not about sensationalizing. If you allow me to explain, I'd answer the question. The reason that I'm using the crass language is because absent that kind of language that really makes people focus on the reality of what's happening, they can just dismiss it as, well, a life is being taken away or something like that. And they use these kind of like these vague waving of the hands to say, well, things like this happen, right? But when people are really forced to focus on the immense pain and the immense just disgustingness and the immense just meaninglessness of this experience, right? This horrifying experience that's happening to a child, right? More so than just saying a life was lost, right? These words that are used to describe the horrificness of the experience, I think, are very important in being able to contextualize in your mind what that experience actually is, right? Like, for example, when people talk about the flood, they're like, well, God was wiping away the sins of the people. But now when you start to think about all the floating babies, right, blue and bloated in the water.
Wow, it's so emotional.
One second. It's not about emotion. It's about reality, right? Being fed on by sharks in the water, rotting, right? The idea. One second. I'm almost done. This dude, you guys, look, decorum. Look, I hear you. You're being highly emotional. You're being incredibly emotional. We're just having a discussion.
I'm not being emotional. You can't do the emotional black guy. I'm saying to you,
buddy, you're being
entitled that you feel like you can tell God what you should do.
I'll let you go. Tell me you're done.
Yeah, you're so entitled that you believe that you can tell God you learn at some flapjack university, and you sit up and say, well, you know what, I'm going to apply a term to what you say, and so therefore I'm going to say this term, and this term is going to prove that what you're doing is not valid and is incorrect, and I can maintain my position. So
What
that's
does your
what it is.
position have to do with
God-
validity?
God-
I didn't say anything about validity.
God kills people and he gives life. God creates the heavens, he creates the earth, he creates diseases, he
Wait,
creates
why did you just invoke validity out of curiosity?
and if I see something that
No,
God
you don't
does,
care.
I don't like it, I'm going to tell God I don't believe in you because I ain't.
Wait, what aspect of what I'm saying have anything to do with
Why does
believing
that
in a
baby
God?
have to die, God? Why does that baby have to die, God? Why can't
So Rabbi,
the way
look,
I want to
if we
see the world,
could
God?
tone it
I
back
get to
just a little
decide.
bit so we can have a conversation.
No,
So
this is
you
what
said
I'm
it,
saying.
you said it,
This is
No,
the mentality
hear you.
of kids protesting at these universities.
Look,
This is what I want.
Rabbi.
This is the way I want the world to be.
Rabbi,
If I
if we
don't
could
get
take
it,
a
I'm
step
going
back
to
and just
complain. And I'm
continue
going
having
to
a conversation as opposed to what you're
this
doing here.
mediocre, Eurocentric, debate style, and then I'm going to say my point maintains itself.
Rabbi, let's take like 10 steps back, right, and respond to the actual questions that we're asking one another, right? Because everything you did there wasn't helpful. It was just kind of ridiculous, right? What you mentioned validity. You said I'm providing like an invalid argument. What was invalid in what I was saying? Like, what was the logical structure that I was violating in what I was saying? You said I was making an invalid argument.
Let me ask you this. Do you believe you have a soul?
That you can't possibly answer
No, I'm
the
asking
question
you.
with a question. I'm going to get up until you answer that question of what I...
I'm answering your question. Do you
No,
believe you have a
you
soul?
you can't answer a question with a question.
So wait.
I'm asking you for...
Do you believe you have a soul? Yes or no?
Rabbi, again, I asked you a specific
No,
question.
I'm asking
I'm going to get up until you answer the question.
I'm answering your question. Do you believe you have a soul?
I will answer your questions when you answer mine, Rabbi. I said what...
I am answering it. I'm answering this.
Make whatever assumption you want. That's fine. But I asked you a very specific
Sorry,
question.
no conversation. That proves my point.
So validity, right, is when the premises in a syllogism don't follow to the conclusion, right?
This is part of this mediocre deductive reasoning again.
Well, it's not deductive.
Do you believe you have a soul? Yes or no?
Well,
That's what this is.
so just to help you there.
Say no. If you say no,
look,
there's no point to have a conversation.
Again, look.
There's no point to have a conversation. You're going to use
I'll pause
this
for a second.
mediocre.
You're using that because I don't understand.
Education, right? And you're going to sit up here and try to talk to me about and say, hey, you know what? You don't like my recognition. That's what I said. You don't have a background for me to explain this to you because
You're just repeating yourself, Rabbi, at this point.
I don't need to defend myself. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not.
You're repeating the same point, and you're not.
It doesn't matter if you believe it or not.
Let me put it to you this way, just really quickly, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So if I don't believe, Rabbi, if I could just say something really quickly. I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, I promise, but you're using words that you don't understand the meaning of. Racism.
Okay. That's
so there's nothing about. So just a second, I'll tell you.
I don't understand the meaning of them.
No, I'm telling you specifically, right? So I explained. Rabbi, are we having a conversation or not?
Not really.
You're just talking through me.
Not really. No, we're not really having a conversation.
So then for the rest of the room, right? So what he was saying was, I was asking him about, he made a very specific statement that the argument I was making was invalid. When I asked him what was invalid about the structure, and I explained to him how a valid argument is created, he then said that I'm just using, he then said, wait 1 second, he then said that I'm using deductive reasoning when I'm defining what a valid sentence structure or valid syllogism means.
No,
right? Which has nothing to do with deduction, right? So I don't know where you're going because you're using words that you don't understand the meaning of.
I very well know the words that I'm saying.
So then what is deductive mean and why are you applying it to validity?
The reason why you're saying it is because you have this fake pseudo-intellectual expression where you think that you can, one, dictate to me how to communicate, and two, that you have some superior knowledge of these definitions that I don't know how to use, and you do. No.
So then explain to me validity, please, Rabbi.
You're not in that position.
So what does validity mean, Rabbi?
You're not in that position.
Yes,
You lack understanding, right? And the little homophobia that you learned with your parents' money, okay, has nothing to do with.
Yeah, these are all things that like just I don't understand why they get brought up.
No, because I'm showing you how. I'm showing you how cookie cutter.
Do you think that you're making a good representation of yourself on stage? The rest of
yeah.
Really? So you think
I'm the guy. Yeah, I'm the guy. I'm not part of your. I'm not part of your white presentation.
Now it's a white thing.
I'm not a part
he doesn't know what I am, but now it's a white thing.
I'm not a part of your white presentation.
Wait, why do you think that I'm white out of curiosity?
You're not in a position to critique anything about me.
He's just all, you're only
part of accomplished nothing in your life. You've accomplished nothing in your life. You're on this little chat with me.
Guys, is this not embarrassing? I don't understand.
No, you're not.
Charlie, could you take control for a second? Because I don't know where this is going.
Embarrassing to what?
Yeah, let's not put ad hominems. You know.
I mean, it's like every other thing he's saying is that. I don't understand what he's doing here.
No, I know what you understand.
I went to college with daddy's money and I'm white.
You have no authority. You have no authority. That's what I'm saying to you. You have no authority to dictate.
I'm sorry the arguments are
you have no authority to dictate.
I don't know why you're taking it.
You have no authority to dictate conversations. You have absolutely no power whatsoever.
He's not going to stop.
You have no power. You have no power whatsoever. That's what I want you to understand. You have no power to dictate.
Okay, no, let's relax. Ad hominems are not relevant. And let's get back to the main debate.
I appreciate you, Charlie.
Informative.
Yeah, it's just again.
The key thing is to understand. You don't have the ability to dictate definitions. You don't have the ability to dictate discourse. You have the ability to dictate nothing. Okay, nothing. You are in no position. You do not have more information than I do. You're not at a higher level than me. You've not accomplished more than me. You have not done anything. So what I'm saying to you is, you have to understand when you're engaging in a conversation with me that you have no power whatsoever. Okay. Now, if you want to have a discussion from the premise that you have an idea and you want to share that idea and get a response from it, that's cool. But you're not dictating anything. You have no information. Right? You could share something that inspires you.
I really don't know how to have a discussion.
Okay, but you don't have any information. That's what I'm saying to you. You don't have any information. You have some little Eurocentric University crackerjack deductive reasoning, right? And you're trying to apply that. You're trying to apply that to someone who's a master. Okay? You're not in that position.
Wait, so
that's what I'm saying to you. So I'm saying to you, I'm taking my time. I'm taking my time out to let you know that you have no power. You have no power to define anything. Nothing. Okay? Nothing.
Rabbi, what do you just take a breath. What are you doing?
No, again, you don't even have the ability to tell me nothing. That's the point. You do not have the ability to tell me anything. I want you to understand. I want you to get that into your little bitty brain. You do not have the ability to tell me anything.
Rabbi, this is really embarrassing.
You cannot tell me anything. You're not in the position to dictate.
All right, I'll be quiet until you're done.
You understand that. You're not in the position to dictate anything. Nothing. Nothing. You can't tell me I'm this. You can't tell me I'm that. You have no ability to define anything about my existence. Right? And when you understand that, that is the beginning of having a discourse. You're in no position of power. Nothing.
Okay, Charlie, did he say anything there? You think that was a response to what I said with what he said there?
No, it's appeal to authority.
Kind of embarrassing, right? He's not really responding to any of the points.
Yeah.
You see, like I'm not trying to.
I just want you to know I took a little time out of my day, and I want you to realize that you have no power to define anything. And whoever told you that lied to you and pumped your ego up to make you feel that you have the ability to define anything. You don't have the ability to define what God does. You don't have the ability to define what I do. You don't even have the ability to even fully define what you do yourself, right? So my point to you is to say, grow up, right? Grow up and leave the sickness, right? Leave the sickness you contracted in Western society that gives you the thought, the entitlement to believe that you have the ability to dictate anything that you see. Anything that you see. You're only an observer. That's it. You're not a dictator. You're not an enforcer. You're not a labeler. You're only an observer, right? That's it. And a person who told you you're anything other than that distorted your inner self, right? It distorted your inner self where you believe that you could tell another man what he's doing, how he should conduct himself, that you can tell him on his definitions of words and ideas. So that's a distortion, and it's a sickness that's existed in Western society, mostly by white people for millennium. Okay,
I'm white.
So, it's a sickness. It's a sickness that you guys have within yourselves. That when you call someone white and you call someone black, that person who's being called white is being deformed into something that's unempathetic to someone else, right? And so that being unempathetic gives you the personality where you believe you can step on me and you can talk to me and you can talk down to me. It's a sickness, okay? And now the financial structure has changed, so you're no longer in power, okay? You can no longer say, boy, shut up. You can't do that. So I'm telling you now that you have no power. You have no ability to dictate anything to me or anyone else, or even dictate what you see God does, right? Because you're not in a position of power, okay? You're not. And whoever told you that distorts who you are.
So guys, just for a quick clarification, this was all in response to me asking him what he meant by my argument was invalid in structure. And I was
No. What it came to was you disrespecting me. What it came was you disrespecting me, telling me that my definitions about life and my definitions about spirituality and my definitions about what's going on is incorrect. And you said to me that I'm using words that I don't understand. So now you have to get checked. Okay? Now you have to get checked because you're not in a position to
check
anything.
Somebody, come on.
Okay?
Somebody,
you're not in a position to check anything. And I'm saying to you, because you are a white person, right? That you need to really look at the sickness.
Wait, why do you think you carry? Wait, pause.
I give you the ability to feel entitled.
Just one second. Why do you think that I'm white? You keep saying that. Why do you think that I'm white?
Because of your personality.
There's a white personality?
Yes.
That's a weird thing to say.
No, it's not. It's reality. It's an entitled perspective that feel that they can dictate the other. You could be dark skinned and have a white mentality too.
No. What you very specifically said was that I'm white.
You were white. Yes, you were white.
It's incredibly racist thing to say.
Well, that's what you are. You may be Asian, but you're white in your mind.
I'm white. I may be Asian, but I'm white internally. Okay.
In your mind, in your thinking process.
You're not coming off with melanin.
It doesn't matter. Again, you're dictating what reality is. That's part of the whiteness.
No,
you are not in a position to dictate.
Again, the question that you were being.
You got.
Let me rephrase the question one more time. What I was very specifically asking you was you said that the sentence structure I was using was invalid. And then I asked you what about it was invalid, right? Because invalid has specific definition. And then you said I'm using deduction. When you weren't even answering what invalid meant or deduction meant.
You're not
understanding terms. And instead, all you're talking about now is that I'm white or I'm Chinese or white. And your own people in here are thinking you're insane. Like,
nobody. Shut up. Okay, you're not playing one against the other, right?
It's not one against the other.
And I don't have any people here. And the point that I'm saying to you is, again, I just want
I think some other people want to go. Let them go.
I want you to hear that you don't have any power.
So guys, remember, I'm white on the inside.
You have no right to
decide. Remember that. I mean, white internal.
Define anything for anyone else. You have no power to define anything for anyone else. And the fact that you believe that is because you have a sickness inside you. It's a sickness. That's what I'm saying.
All right, let's let somebody else go now. Who wants to go?
You're not dictating anything.
Welcome to the room, John. Well, he's already been here. Barbie, how you doing?
Hey, what happened?
I don't know. I'm very unsure.
Why are you guys fighting?
I wasn't trying to.
No, I told this guy that he has no power to define what I say, how I conduct myself, or what I do. That's what I told him. He has no power to do that. And the fact that he feels that he has the power to do that is part of the sickness that exists in Western society by people.
Rabbi, please stop repeating the same thing over and over again. Like, because you've said it already. I'm sorry, wait. I'll repeat it back to you. You said it's a sickness.
I understand it.
That I can't define anything for you or
You know, can I interrupt? I've been listening very patiently, and I just want to say you started out this conversation talking about mana, and I said that Roland is a moron and that it's all a metaphor. And I still stand by that position, but now I've updated the morons to other people in this room. You're all morons, and I just want to say that the soul just represents the sun. It's Spanish, SOL. And you're too literal. And you're literally living in a fantasy world. You're living in the Disney world of fantasy. And I congratulate you for choosing your Disney world of fantasy. But nonetheless, it's still just a fantasy.
I respect that, John. But I want Roland to know that you have no power to dictate anything or define anything, period, for anybody ever. And for you to take that sickness of entitlement out of your body.
Yeah.
I mean, Roland, let's admit, we're all going to disappear. And, you know, let people choose how they want to represent. Like, for example, this is an African-American man living in Israel. He became a black Larry David. That's his choice. He wanted to do this. It was for fun. It was for truth. It was for love.
First of all, who's Larry David?
He's a Jewish.
You are the black version of Larry David.
No way. You know something funny. So one time I was down
Blair, John. Larry David.
But you gotta admit, this black man in Israel is one of the nicest people you're ever gonna meet. I mean, you wouldn't want to have a Shabbos dinner with this guy. He's awesome. He's a fucking legend. This guy is famous. I don't even know if you know who this guy is, but he's fucking famous.
Oh, about famous one. But I was in this time, so I was down in Tel Aviv, like months ago. And I was just, I was getting something to eat, I had a meeting done or whatever, and I'm just sitting on this bench deciding where I went. Because only a few kosher places down there, so I'm looking around. So this old man comes up like hobbling, and he was like walking somewhere, and he saw me, and he comes and sits next to me on this bench. He's you American? I'm like, yeah. And so he just starts like, oh, his face like lifts up, and he starts talking about jazz music. This guy must have been like in the 70s. He's like talking about jazz music, but he says, you're not the only black Jew. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, Sammy Davis Jr. And I was just like, and I just started cracking up. But it was just like,
That's an incredibly boring story.
Well, he left out the part. He left out the part where he also said Miles Davis is Jewish. I bet you didn't know that.
I didn't know that. Is that a real thing?
I made it up, but let's go with it.
Oh, okay, all right. Anyway, Roland, you don't have the ability to define. I'm trying to cure you of this, don't try to define. Just accept, observe, and just be okay with that. You don't have to define. You don't have to exert will, right? That's not holy, right? Observing, accepting, hey, maybe agreeing if you don't. Is it important for me to say it? Do that deduction process. But this other stuff you learn in university is not going to help you. It's not going to help you, and it's not going to let you connect it.
So guys, I think it's time for this old cowboy to mosey out. I don't think there's any good discussion to be had here anymore. But I wish I could say that I think you've grown from this experience, but I don't think that you have. But I'll catch you all later.
Why do I have
always a pleasure. Talk to you later.
You're a dictator. You gotta cure yourself.
Hello? Hello? Where'd the black Larry David go? Hello?
That's crazy. Oh my God! Even one of the episodes, they said his sidekick dude or whatever, they would mix up their sperm and like play a Russian roulette and try to see whose baby it is. Oh God.
Like, bro, okay, $1 million up front, and then $1 million over the course of the child's life.
sends you like a tube full of his jizz in the mail.
Now, there's somewhere in Asia, they were like paying this man to fly over the whole hotel stay. Like he had to fill up like 500 miles or something, and until he filled it up and leave, but everything was being paid for.
Yeah, how long would it take to fill 500 miles? That would take me a year, bro.
No, now every time I look at somebody, they look like they're from Sweden or something. I'm like, I know that is. It's very distinctive, blonde hair, curly blue eyes.
How tall is this guy?
I'm not sure.
Oh,
My
no,
face
it's
is
6'9", now. 6'4".
Alright.
Oh,
Yeah, because if you're doing that, you're not getting like a 5'2" man leg.
It was the hair, because it's like down in his shoulders.
Bro, nobody cares. You think we're on this like bipartisan stuff, bro. Like we don't care. I'm actually an accelerationist. I want Biden to win. Put as many dumb regulations as possible. Adopt the Keynesian economics theory. Let's go, baby. Nobody's crying. That's the thing. I'm not a bipartisan hack.
So you guys think that Obama cost India or France?
They blame Obama for everything.
Fire.
They blame black people for everything.
Oh, now you're gonna make it a race.
I'm just carrying stuff in my hands, but as soon as I drop off, he's gone.
Obama's so sexy.
Trying to get rid of French, right?
No, I think she was talking about you.
I know.
He doesn't have it.
Obama, greatest man.
It's not Jack.
All he says is,
Bro, I'm pro open border. You're talking to the wrong person.
all he says is,
I'm pro open border. Let the immigrants come in. Let the immigrants come in. I'm all good.
Alright, that was a nice commercial break. I'm gonna go back to the conversation.
Right. We'll sing the national anthem of France, I think. Allons de la patrie, le jour de gloire est arrivé.
Have you guys seen your French
You have
national
a good
team?
accent.
Have you seen your French national team in the World Cup in Euros? They're all mostly black. You guys should cry. France, you guys should cry. Mostly black.
How dare you?
What does that
That's
mean?
racist.
What does that mean?
I'm not racist.
You're a black American. Deal with it.
I'm African.
You are.
I've told you
No,
that
you are
several
not.
times.
You are not. You are black American.
That's right.
I went to an orgy house in France in 2011. Those things exist. Have been Muslims taking over. I went to an orgy house myself.
So, Oli, so you lived in France from when to when?
I lived in France from August to October for the duration of the UNESCO conference. It was 3 months.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, so, and did you live in Paris?
I lived in the suburb of Paris where the embassy had a house, where our mission had it.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Why?
Simon, if you say, if you do want to be in a it's the word smaller.
He has like that, like Naveen has like that accent, or just like it's all one word.
I don't care. So, Oli, so it was 3 months enough to gain your experience, to experience then the whole French thing?
Yeah, that's all it is. I lived in France for a month and a half. My house was about to get robbed.
What experience are you talking about? I went there for a walk. I also walked behind you. Your microphone is not good. You must have Bluetooth on or something. Yeah, I
that French
it's not working.
Yeah, you gotta upgrade your internet.
Yeah, get la fibre d'orange.
They did. I lived there for 3 months.
They need some more undersea cables.
I used to work for IOM. I don't know what IOM is, Aïssa.
Oui, on t'entend.
Mais tu en dis,
Sí, cómo no.
tu te vois pourquoi?
Damn, getting kicked like a villain. John Kitover, Tiffany Sotheby is now no longer a friend, apparently. Okay, this is the sad truth about Clubhouse friends. I've been recently getting kicked from rooms. And I want to say a lot of people have had like emotional journeys on this app where they thought they had what they call these things called friends through what's called a social audio chit chat app. But the truth is, no one here is your friend in real life because you don't hang out with them on Friday nights or Saturdays or do anything with them other than have totally irrelevant, useless discourse. And I want to point that out, that feeling sad or blue about, getting kicked or sent to the goo or running at the mouth and saying nothing or shouting down people trying to say something. This is the sad truth about Clubhouse friends. Persona non grata. Okay, welcome to the sad truth about your clubhouse friends, Famo. Did you know they're not really your friends?
He wants to stay in the property.
That they're
We're trying
losers!
to take the property over from him from the mortgage perspective. Or if he's free and clear and he wants to get out of the property, then because we run into situations where there's people who own the property for a long time, but they want to move back to Mexico, or they want to sell it. They don't know how to get the best deal. So I've run.
I don't know how they messages went, but I know DJ told me he loved me, and I was like confused because I never had. Bruh. No, it's not like it was like a sincere I love you. It was like
fucking with CJ.
no. That's the thing. No, the second one. I don't find him like.
Love!
I don't find love attractive.
You have to have love in your heart before you can have a man love you.
Like the niggas and the bitches on here speak so fine. Like y'all, I'm serious. Like you would be like, oh, I want to catch up that bitch.
What the fuck you talking about?
Huh?
I'm still right here.
She was horny.
Right, yeah, like y'all still right here, like yeah.
She was horny, but now she knows
I'm
what's
probably
in
got my ice cream. I'm gonna go get high and eat my chicken and spaghetti.
chicken and waffles, chocolate milk with whipped cream and a cherry on the top.
Wow. I said you just want me. Shut up.
Listen, everybody, the clown house is gonna shut down. I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to shut down the clown house. The president of the clown house is undergoing presidential training to help. We're flying. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. We're trying to fly out Oscar to our educational university in Los Angeles and Hollywood, and we're gonna.
Oh, hell no.
And then he's gonna come back from an all-expense paid trip with his family. He's gonna undergo a 40-hour certification course.
I can't support it. My bad. I cannot support it.
Why does he call it?
Keep going.
So Oscar's gonna get paid $10,000 to come out to Los Angeles, all-expense paid trip, and then he's gonna come back.
This is right here.
That's Tiffany?
Y'all fucking alone.
I'm about that little white bitch.
And then Oscar's gonna come back, create a new clown house, and put all of you motherfuckers to work.
It's like a speaker. It's not like someone's mad.
Nobody's mad. He's the president, and we're gonna show you what you're doing here.
Here she goes.
So what you wanna do?
Oscar's the president. I'm the
One
CEO.
mic on trash. What you wanna do? If you don't need that, I'm gonna leave you alone. Okay, she don't need that. She muted up. Okay.
What man said?
I keep on going back and watching the video. Even in your it's really fucking. I don't give a fuck.
Hey, Pat, you see that?
I'm gonna sit right next to you so you can see how you look. Do you see how you look? You look like you got lupus. Like you look like someone from Horton Hears a Who.
Lupus.
I don't know. Something don't
Why does she look like she got lupus?
That's not my nose, bitch. It's a filter.
That's not your nose.
Oh, it's a filter nose.
That's not your nose.
It's a filter nose.
Wait, hold up. Hold up. That's not your nose. So who's not your nose?
Wake it up.
Who's not your nose?
Where'd it go? Where'd it go? That nose
You got
disappeared.
my nose, bitch. So you can
Okay, so I'm gonna fart in your nostrils.
so you can sniff coke. You took my nose.
Bitch, you sniff coke, bitch.
Yeah, you would.
Okay, ass bitch.
I don't like.
Coke, bitch. I don't even do pep.
Tiffany Sotheby doesn't like cocaine. She just likes the way it smells.
Now that's what gets. Lena, you get that ass right now. It's up to you, bitch. Wait, I don't got my wires right now, bitch. Okay.
Order. I don't got my wires right now. Yeah, bitch. Fuck hoe. Fucking retarded ass.
Fucking hoe. You fucking hoe.
Your daughter be drinking.
I'm gonna let them argue because they both ain't got wires.
Your daughter be drinking.
Your motherfucking son disabled, bitch. I heard that.
Your daughter be drinking.
The fuck, bitch?
Your daughter is a motherfucking
This is Jazzy at her best. This is when Jazzy gets really classy and intellectual and academic. Oh yeah, this is so joyful right here.
Leave Jazzy alone, bro.
Ha 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 ha! I got you, bitch. You fucking bitch. Ha ha!
I need y'all to chill out. Y'all my friends. Why y'all be?
Because you're.
It's for the past.
Well, you the president. Fucking whip these bitches. They fucking loud mouth hoes.
Demeanor and Lena and EA. I'm just not with Demeanor right now. But y'all got her mic.
These hoes be wanting to start with me.
Cause you're ugly. That's why.
Well, let me show you.
Okay. From now on, I'll let you be ugly. I ain't gonna like you no more ugly.
Lena, why you so tough with CJ, bitch?
It's good that you're gonna let it go that she's ugly and you accept how ugly she is.
Girl, and Lena, why you sound like a gateway? I don't know either. You sound like a gateway though, Lena.
Everybody wants to picture of Tiffany with her balls out. I got one.
Wait, so Angel.
She holds on to it on her cell phone like it's worth $1 million.
That went live with the double chin, like that.
On my Instagram.
What double chin?
I think Wilder's a boy.
I
Hello?
don't give a fuck about how I look, nigga.
Hello?
I feel like, bitch.
Hello?
Get that motherfucking mic, bitch, so I can whoop your ass.
Hello?
Me. Are you ready? With me. Yeah, I'm ready.
Hello?
With me. Let me turn my with me so I can fuck you up. With me.
Hello?
Bitch, you got that shit catch me out, bitch. Go down to the bottom, Angel, bitch, and record.
Hello? Why are you so angry? What's up with these mood swings? What is up with all these mood swings?
Let me know when you're ready for that round two. That was a little easy bang, bitch.
Lena, she's way better than you.
That was like a mini bang. That was amazing. Oh my god, that sounded amazing. That was a mini bang. I love that. Do it again.
A mini bang. Hit that bitch in the head. And trust is your mother, bitch. Now trust what you wanna do.
America is really fucked. I just want to let you all know, if you are representing Black America right now, America is fucked. It's really fucked. It's gonna collapse. America is gonna collapse.
I'm not gonna swing on you. Cause you don't have your mic. Bitch, you thought you was gonna
Bitch, you're gonna collapse. You're gonna single-handedly collapse America, bitch.
Bitch.
Hello? Hello? Is anyone? Hello?
Lena might be a trainee, cause that bitch suffering to sound like a woman.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
What are you doing?
do something.
Fun
Bitch, you ain't fucking
son.
fuck with me. Bitch, you was better off sitting there with me. I so much know why I'm bringing rats and fucking coming here and fuck with me. Bitch, you better drop your big fat ass on Hudson Bridge, bitch. And find you something safe to do, bitch. You know self-esteem having ass, bitch. Insecure, big neck ass, bitch. What's wrong with you, hoe? Bitch, shut your ugly ass up. What you talking, bitch? I'm gonna spit on you, bitch. You look like a yellow because you can't say that, bitch. You got fucked up. You got fucked up. You got fucked up. You got fucked up. Bitch. Y'all hoes know y'all can't take me. Y'all mute up like a good bitch. Punch mode again. Stupid. Fuck wrong with you, bitch.
I feel like you're like using a microphone.
HVAC, do you need that?
I don't know.
Cause I don't like the tax anyway, so bitch, do you need that?
I don't know what you do.
Okay.
What you talking about?
Okay, bitch, you're gonna talk about nothing.
Yeah, well, we don't like the pass anyway.
That's what I'm saying. Bitch, get quiet.
I'm dead enough, right?
Okay, well then don't. I know that's fine. That's your best thing. Okay. Anyways, Alina, you black ass bitch. Take your crunchy taco meat hair ass off you, bitch. I can fuck you up again. On my side, bitch.
Oh my god. Bessie, what happened?
Crackhead ass hoe. This bitch gonna come in. I'm talking about Lena, let's get it pumping. This bitch talking about, oh Barbie, I know how many ways. Don't know like fucking Michael Jackson. I said, okay, bitch. I'm not gonna swing at you. So I let her and Tress argue. Cause I was like, okay, they both don't got no wires. This bitch thought she was gonna get one up on me.
You know.
Bitch, I'm always ready, hooker. But it's okay. I can't be beating up everybody. No shade.
You goddamn little motherfucking trick. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your fucking mouth, you goddamn little fucking loud little fucking street trick. Get a book and go to the gym and do something with your life, you little fucking hoe.
He hates that. He said you sound like a street trick.
Barbie, remember how Pac-Man had those voice things? How do you do that?
I don't know.
On the Comcast on the computer.
I
You
forgot.
gotta download some shit on the computer.
Oh, on a computer?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Barbie.
I don't have a computer. Oh,
You don't got no
I got
computer?
one, but I forgot. No.
You want the
Well,
website?
I got a MacBook.
Huh?
Oh yeah, you can download the shit and make the sound and shit. So you gotta
Oh, Barbie, you have a MacBook. You can do it.
Yeah. But I do.
Barbie gonna OD on that shit. She don't need that shit.
You don't need a computer, bitch. You need a motherfucking book and a motherfucking sledgehammer to the face by a man who's gonna teach you some motherfucking intelligence and discipline and love, bitch.
Anyway, make a Rihanna, baby.
Fine. You don't have to be mean about it.
Damn.
Well, when I hear a schizophrenic fucking bang session where you dumb bitches just scream at each other and cause our motherfucking brains to have fucking hemorrhages and motherfucking migraines, I want to let you know to go fuck off, you fucking bitch, fuck off!
Sound like you're a real
Is everything okay with Tiffany at home?
No, bitch, things aren't good, and your fucking schizophrenic bang rooms don't make things no better, bitch!
You calling me schizophrenic, bitch. I'm gonna fuck you,
But
bitch. You go in your side.
well, I already done packed them up several times. Just know.
I done packed them up.
Who, DJ?
Don't come at me. Yeah. I told you I packed them up.
I'm ready to beat up DJ today. Bitch, that's the last person. Lady, you got your ass
Come in
whooped.
here soon.
5K got his ass whooped. I
We
chose
gonna
the shit
pop
out
in
of him.
here.
And Frederick, I'm gonna beat his ass today. And I know that was CJ that was removing people out the Telegram.
Somebody put
I don't even give a fuck about being in the
DJ on the
Telegram.
school bus. That shit was hilarious.
Like, we almost had 100
I
people.
gotta start arguing with them.
Girl, I knew CJ was gonna do some shit like that. He talking about I'm gonna start my own.
I can't argue.
I told him one thing and that was it. And nobody said to do all that shit. I was asleep.
Like, I don't care about demeanor, EA or demeanor
Where y'all just go at 5K?
in the Telegram. They went to go
Can
block
y'all
the
join,
streets.
please? Yeah.
Join your Telegram.
Yeah, join our Telegram, Oscar.
It felt so good.
But don't go by Oscar on there. Go by nothing there.
That's my name on Telegram.
Well, you need to change it and hide your number.
Y'all need to put your own pictures up.
Trent, you're ugly.
My name is Marlo Stanfield, and I stand by my name.
You're ugly.
your mother. I mean, I done seen your mother, so.
Girl, I don't give a fuck. Wait, you seen Trey's mama?
Yeah, somebody had posted in the Telegram. It was a
If I get a hold of that mama, it's I don't care if now, girl, Trey, the only reason why I'm not bullying you is because I'm 15 now.
Making sure that Americans can achieve economic potential and live their dreams again. Meanwhile, Joe Biden demonstrated that he is a man in decline, leading a nation in decline. We don't want to join Joe Biden in that decline. The Democratic Party right now in total turmoil. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is growing our movement with that great sense of vision.
Lindsey Graham said he doesn't want Donald Trump to debate Biden again because he doesn't want the world to watch that again.
I mean, it's terrifying. That's the first war Lindsey Graham's against. Oh, Matt. Kids can't help yourself. I can't help himself, right?
This dirty ass bitch up. You sick ass, black ass bitch. I swear.
Wow. Bro, why you sound like the same woman right now? I'm gonna say
Bitch, I'm not fucking in the motherfucking face, bitch.
what are you talking about?
Girl, it's supposed to go piss me off. Bitch, you're not talking about nothing. Let's get on this one. You want to get bullied. You like getting bullied, don't you? Yeah, bitch, you like getting bullied, don't you? You never been. I have multiple. Shut your retarded ass up.
Both you fucking trick ass bitches, you fucking trick ass bitches, shut your mouth, mute your mic, go to a yoga class, go get some fucking breakfast, get a job, do something with your life, raise a family, fucking help this country, you fucking loud mouth, stupid ass motherfucking bitches, fuck you fucking over ass hoe.
I'm going to pack it up, bitch, not you. This is retarded. You're packing on the map book, bitch. Bitch, oh my god, bitch, you're not fucking with me. Sorry, Bill. You're not fucking with me. I'll wait for you to pack me up. Pack me up. I'll wait. You're packing on the map. Told you. You're packing your mic not louder than mine. They already told you, dumbass, how that your mic not louder than mine, bitch. So pack me up. Bitch, pack me up. Alexa. Bitch, you packing on the motherfucking Alexa, bitch. Shut your ugly ass up looking at motherfucking man. Bitch, you got a motherfucking man. Bitch, you fucking out here, bitch. I'm gonna pay for the pillow. Alexa, young bitch. Bitch, you hungry. Tell me I can navigate this bitch and nearly pay for that bitch. You get rid of them honey for me. Bitch, I'm on motherfucking Twitter. Like, bitch, you got no motherfucking job for me. Bitch, the mother, your big ugly ass body work over that fucking die, bitch. Oh my soul, bitch. I'm gonna cut off your fucking hand like a chicken, bitch. Ass thing. But you really can't ass hoe. Bitch, you ain't got no damn right. So why would you want to got no job for me, bitch? For you, but why would you call bitch? Big Barbie, big Barbie. Bitch, I'm gonna knock you up every time. You nigga, bitch. You nigga, Barbie Turner, bitch. Yeah, like I'm gonna beat your ass. Bitch, you not Barbiana, bitch, you're Barbie, bitch. I'm Barbie Turner, I'm Barbiana, I'm Chris Turner, and I'm Barbiana, bitch. Be in New York, to be in the New York Bulls back in season 1, bitch, you a fucking clown. Bitch, you wanna be in no New York. You wanna be in New York, bitch. Bitch, I'm not be in no New York, bitch, I'm not even from New York. What is this bitch talking about, you retarded ass bitch? Why did you say being Carissa? Bitch, I'm from Texas. Why you say this bitch talking about Carissa? Why you dumb ass bitch? And act like you know what the fuck you talking about, bitch. You not talking about nothing. You think you had your back body ass bitch. bitch. You're not talking about how you insecure ass bitch. Fuck around ass bitch. I like to bully you for entertainment purposes, bitch. I know you can't fuck with me, hoe. Bitch, yeah, bitch, you a loser. Bitch, your big ass work out hard, bitch. Smart out, bitch. I hate your ass, bitch. What's wrong with you, bitch? Let me get on. Yeah, you're gonna get fucked up every time. You're gonna get fucked up every time, boo. So you ain't gonna turn your fat nasty ass up. Cause you can't fuck with me. Bitch, I'm walker than bitch. You uglier than a hoe. Yeah, bitch. Talking about I'm from New York. Bitch. Shut your dumb ass up, bitch. I get last quarter on you. You're on mute. You're on mute.
What you say, Knuckles? That's what's good to you say? Well, he just angry as hell.
Bitch, you got packed up.
I know why he always talking.
Wait till I get on my PC, bitch. You got packed up. Come on. You packed on the... You packed on the left with 3 times. You got packed up. I'm glad you got packed up. I'm glad you got motherfucking ugly ass Knuckles, bitch.
Y'all want to see Knuckles?
I'm glad you got packed up.
Y'all want to see Knuckles? Look at Knuckles. He always coming there talking shit to black people. And this motherfucker, look at this motherfucker. Hold on.
I'm glad that bitch got packed up. Bitch. You got packed up in front of everybody.
No, see, I look, if I supposed to, what made you find attractive? I'm supposed to be 2-year-old man. That's what you got. I find that like Knuckles. Right. Oh, God. I still get bitches, so I ain't worried about it.
I hate you.
Wait, what made you find attractive? I'm a man. I'm supposed to look ugly to you, Oscar. I want to look ugly to every man. Like, that's been there. Wait. So what made you find attractive then, faggot? Bro, you're a faggot, bro. You're a whole faggot. Like, you're calling me ugly. Like, so.
That's cool. He's not calling you cute. He's saying you ugly. Like, look at you. You got a receding hairline. Bitch, you got that perverted ass mustache. Bitch, you look a mess. You look like you work at Goodwill, bitch. Like, shut your dumb ass up, okay? But you, I don't know, you ugly as a bitch. I would remove him on my tab, like, this damn wrong. Fine, you're gonna spit blood on me? You got AIDS, bitch? You wanna put your AIDS blood on me, bitch? Oh my God, you just don't wanna spit on somebody, bitch. You gonna drink it, bitch. You gonna bounce.
How the fuck you trying to spit blood on somebody? Is that something? I'm on the table.
Knuckles got a hairline.
Well, yeah, like, Oscar, man, I look better than you.
No, you don't.
Oscar, bro, like, what made you find attractive, man?
Why are you asking him what man he find attractive? He's not saying you're attractive. I'm saying you're ugly.
You always come in the room like, what's up, cotton? You guys are shit about black America. Nigga, fuck you, man. What's wrong about that shit, bro?
Lena, come on, you so you take that ass with it again. Come on, Lena.
Lady, do y'all find 25 wrong with anything? In real life, like, in real life, like,
yes, I find a lot wrong with that damn thing. But most importantly, I find a lot wrong with that hairline.
Knuckles, you see on the top of your head, Knuckles? Yeah, that's on the top of your head. You probably Not like I said, but your room wanna keep up with your son's stick in your mouth. Pissy bitch, do they know that? Whoever that you are, man of rainbow and plenty of color.
You fucking trans faggot nigga, motherfucking faggot, motherfucking nigga, faggot, faggot, nigga, nigga, faggot, faggot, nigga, nigga, faggot, nigga, 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 faggot, 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 nigga,
socialist government, right? It's built nothing but Zionists. You know, a lot of them are Zionists, including Biden. So, I don't know, man. I mean, and if Biden was to order something, and let's say Netanyahu has some dirt on Biden, right, to get some shit done, just like the guy Epstein, that pedophile.
You know, I've been saying big time a lot more lately.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's free association.
Actually expressing grievances about my spinaches, which are my...
Attention all Tennessee older adults. There's a new benefit for Tennessee seniors called the Healthy Allowance.
Once upon a time, there was a Zen student who quoted an old Buddhist poem to his teacher, which says, "The voices of torrents are from one great tongue. The lines of the hills are the pure body of Buddha." "Isn't that right?" he said to the teacher. "It is," said the teacher, "but it's a pity to say so. It would be, of course, much better if this occasion were celebrated with no talk at all, and if I addressed you in the manner of the ancient teachers of Zen, I should hit the microphone with my fan and leave. Because Zen is a way of life, a state of being that is not possible to embrace in any concept whatsoever. So that any concepts, any ideas, any words that I shall put across to you this evening will have as their object showing you the limitations of words and of thinking. Now then, if one must try to say something about what Zen is, and I want to do this by way of introduction, I must make it emphatic that Zen, in its essence, is not a doctrine. There's nothing you're supposed to believe in. And it's not a philosophy in our sense, that is to say, a set of ideas, an intellectual net in which one tries to catch the fish of reality. Actually, the fish of reality is more like water. It always slips through the net, and in water, you know, when you get into it, there's nothing to hang on to. All this universe is like water. It is fluid, it is transient, it is changing. And when you're thrown into the water after being accustomed to living on the dry land, you're not used to the idea of swimming, you try to stand on the water, you try to catch hold of it, and as a result you drown. The only way to survive in the water, and this refers particularly to the waters of modern philosophical confusion, where God is dead, metaphysical propositions are meaningless, and there's really nothing to hang on to, because we're all just falling apart. And the only thing to do under those circumstances is to learn how to swim. And to swim, you relax. You let go, you give yourself to the water, and you have to know how to breathe in the right way. And then you find that the water holds you up. Indeed, in a certain way, you become the water. And so in the same way, one might say, if one attempted to, again I say misleadingly, to put Zen into any sort of concept, it simply comes down to this. That in this universe there is one great energy, and we have no name for it. People have tried various names for it, like God, like Brahman, like Tao. But in the West, the word God has got so many funny associations attached to it that most of us are bored with it. When people say God the Father Almighty, most people feel funny inside. And so we like to hear new words. We like to hear about Tao, about Brahman, about Shinyo and Tathata, and such strange names from the Far East, because they don't carry the same associations of mawkish sanctimony and funny meanings from the past. And actually, some of these words that the Buddhists use for the basic energy of the world really don't mean anything at all. The word tathata, which is translated from the Sanskrit into suchness or thusness or something like that, really means something more like da-da-da, based on the word tat, which in Sanskrit means that. In Sanskrit it is said tattvam asi, that thou art, or in modern American, you're it. But da, that's the first sound a baby makes when it comes into the world. Because the baby looks around and says, da, that. And fathers flatter themselves and think it's saying da, which means daddy. But according to Buddhist philosophy, all this universe is one da. That means 10,000 functions or 10,000 things, one suchness. And we're all one suchness. And that means suchness comes and goes like everything else, because this whole world is an on and off system. As the Chinese say, it's the yang and the yin. And therefore it consists of now you see it, now you don't, here you are, here you aren't. Because that's the very nature of energy, to be like waves, and waves have crests and troughs. Only, we, being under a certain kind of sleepiness or illusion, imagine that the trough is going to overcome the wave, or the crest. The yin, the dark principle, is going to overcome the yang, or the light principle. And that off is finally going to triumph over on. And we, shall I say, bug ourselves by indulging in that illusion. Gee, supposing darkness did win out, wouldn't that be terrible? And so we're constantly trembling, thinking that it may, because after all, isn't it odd that anything exists? It's most peculiar. It requires effort, it requires energy, and it would be so much easier for there to have been nothing at all. Therefore we think, well, since the is side of things is so much effort, you always give up after a while and you sink back into death. But death is just the other face of energy. And it's the rest, the not being anything around, that produces something around, just in the same way that you can't have solid without space, or space without solid. When you wake up to this, and realize that the more it changes, the more it's the same thing, as the French say, that you are really a playing of this one energy, and there is nothing else but that it is you, but that for you to be always you would be an insufferable bore. And therefore it is arranged that you stop being you after a while, and then come back as someone else altogether. And so when you find that out, you become full energy and delight. As Blake said, energy is eternal delight. And you suddenly see through the whole sham of things. You realize you're that. We won't put a name on it. You're that. And you can't be anything else. So you are relieved of fundamental terror. That doesn't mean that you're always going to be a great hero, that you won't jump when you hear it bang, that you won't worry occasionally, that you won't lose your temper. It means, though, that fundamentally, deep, deep down within you, you will be able to be human. So it is then that, if I may put it metaphorically, Zhuangzi said, the perfect man employs his mind as a mirror. It grasps nothing, it refuses nothing. It receives but does not keep. In other words, this is to be, put it very strictly into our modern idiom, this is to live without hang-ups. That is to say, to be able to drift like a cloud and flow like water. Seeing that all life is a magnificent illusion, a playing of energy, and there is absolutely nothing fundamentally to be afraid of.
My new book, Keyboard Rich, How Anyone Can Earn Six Figures from Home with a Simple Bookkeeping Business, has just hit the Wall Street Journal bestseller list, and I want to give you a copy for free. Hi, I'm Bill Von Fumetti, and I've helped over 7,000 regular people just like you start six-figure bookkeeping business.
Once upon a time, there was a Zen student who quoted an old Buddhist poem to his teacher, which says, the voices of torrents are from one great tongue. The lines of the hills are the pure body of Buddha. Isn't that right? He said to the teacher. It is, said the teacher, but it's a pity to say so. It would be, of course, much better if this occasion were celebrated with no talk at all. And if I addressed you in the manner of the ancient teachers of Zen, I should hit the microphone with my fan and leave. Because Zen is a way of life, a state of being that is not possible to embrace in any concept whatsoever. So that any concepts, any ideas, any words that I shall put across to you this evening will have as their object showing you the limitations of words and of thinking. Now then, if one must try to say something about what Zen is, and I want to do this by way of introduction, I must make it emphatic that Zen, in its essence, is not a doctrine. There's nothing you're supposed to believe in. And it's not a philosophy in our sense, that is to say, a set of ideas, an intellectual net in which one tries to catch the fish of reality. Actually, the fish of reality is more like water. It always slips through the net, and in water, you know, when you get into it, there's nothing to hang on to. All this universe is like water. It is fluid, it is transient, it is changing. And when you're thrown into the water after being accustomed to living on the dry land, You're not used to the idea of swimming. You try to stand on the water. You try to catch hold of it. And as a result, you drown. The only way to survive in the water, and this refers particularly to the waters of modern philosophical confusion, where God is dead, metaphysical propositions are meaningless, and there's really nothing to hang on to, because we're all just falling apart. And the only thing to do under those circumstances is to learn how to swim. And to swim, you relax. You let go. You give yourself to the water, and you have to know how to breathe in the right way.
The brain power you want is not in a bottle, capsule, or magic lamp. It's in your brain right now.
Ready to wake up, you're going to wake up. And if you're not ready, you're going to stay pretending that you're just a poor little me. And since you're all here and engaged in this sort of inquiry and listening to this sort of lecture, I assume that you're all on the process of waking up. Or else you're teasing yourselves with some kind of flirtation with waking up, which you're not serious about. But I assume maybe you are not serious but sincere, that you are ready to wake up. So then, when you're in the way of waking up and finding out who you really are, what you do is what the whole universe is doing at the place you call here and now. You are something the whole universe is doing in the same way that a wave is something that the whole ocean is doing. The real you is not a puppet which life pushes around. The real deep down you is the whole universe. So then, when you die, you're not going to have to put up with everlasting non-existence, because that's not an experience. A lot of people are afraid that when they die, they're going to be locked up in a dark room forever. And sort of undergo that. But one of the most interesting things in the world, this is a yoga, this is a way of realization. Try and imagine what it will be like to go to sleep and never wake up. Think about that. Children, it's one of the great wonders of life. What will it be like to go to sleep and never wake up? And if you think long enough about that, something will happen. You will find out, among other things, that it will pose the next question to you. What was it like to wake up after having never gone to sleep? That was when you were born. You see, you can't have an experience of life. Nature abhors a vacuum. So after you're dead, the only thing that can happen is the same experience, or the same sort of experience as when you were born. In other words, we all know very well that after people die, other people are born. And they're all you. Only you could only experience it one at a time. Everybody is I. You all know you are you. And wheresoever beings exist throughout all galaxies, it doesn't make any difference. You are all of them. And when they come into being, that's you coming into being. You know that very well. Only you don't have to remember the past in the same way you don't have to think about how you work your thyroid gland or whatever else it is. You don't have to know how to shine the sun. You just do it. Like you breathe. Doesn't it really astonish you that you are this fantastically complex thing? And that you're doing all of this and you never had any education in how to do it?
To drop skinny fat, make the hormones work out. Research shows that eating protein-rich foods
Ready to wake up, you're going to wake up. And if you're not ready, you're going to stay pretending that you're just a little, poor little me. And since you're all here and engaged in this sort of inquiry and listening to this sort of lecture, I assume that you're all on the process of waking up. Or else you're teasing yourselves with some kind of flirtation with waking up, which you're not serious about. But I assume maybe you are, not serious but sincere, that you are ready to wake up. So then, when you're in the way of waking up and finding out who you really are, what you do is what the whole universe is doing at the place you call here and now. You are something the whole universe is doing in the same way that a wave is something that the whole ocean is doing. The real you is not a puppet which life pushes around. The real deep down you is the whole universe. So then, when you die, you're not going to have to put up with everlasting non-existence, because that's not an experience. A lot of people are afraid that when they die, they're going to be locked up in a dark room forever. And sort of undergo that. But one of the most interesting things in the world, this is a yoga, this is a way of realization. Try and imagine what it will be like to go to sleep and never wake up. Think about that. Children, it's one of the great wonders of life. What will it be like to go to sleep and never wake up? And if you think long enough about that, something will happen. You will find out, among other things, that will pose the next question to you. What was it like to wake up after having never gone to sleep? That was when you were born. You see, you can't have an experience of nothing. Nature abhors a vacuum. So after you're dead, the only thing that can happen is the same experience, or the same sort of experience as when you were born. In other words, we all know very well that after people die, other people are born. And they're all you. Only you can only experience it one at a time. Everybody is I. You all know you're you. And wheresoever beings exist throughout all galaxies, it doesn't make any difference. You are all of them. And when they come into being, that's you coming into being. You know that very well. Only you don't have to remember the past. In the same way, you don't have to think about how you work your thyroid gland, or whatever else it is. Or you don't have to know how to shine the sun. You just do it. Like you breathe. Doesn't it really astonish you that you are this fantastically complex thing? And that you're doing all of this and you never had any education in how to do it?
Stop talking already.
To wake up, you're going to wake up. And if you're not ready, you're going to stay pretending that you're just a little, poor little me. And since you're all here and engaged in this sort of inquiry and listening to this sort of lecture, I assume that you're all on the process of waking up. Or else you're teasing yourself with some kind of flirtation with waking up, which you're not serious about. But I assume maybe you are, not serious but sincere, that you are ready to wake up. So then, when you're in the way of waking up and finding out who you really are, what you do is what the whole universe is doing at the place you call here and now. You are something the whole universe is doing in the same way that a wave is something that the whole ocean is doing. not a puppet which life pushes around. The real deep down you is the whole universe. So then, when you die, you're not going to have to put up with everlasting non-existence, because that's not an experience. A lot of people are afraid that when they die, they're going to be locked up in a dark room forever. And they sort of undergo that. But one of the most interesting things in the world, this is a yoga, this is a way of realization. Try and imagine what it will be like to go to sleep and never wake up. Think about that. Children, it's one of the great wonders of life. What will it be like to go to sleep and never wake up? And if you think long enough about that, something will happen. You will find out, among other things, that it will pose the next question to you. What was it like to wake up after having never gone to sleep? That was when you were born. You see, you can't have an experience of nothing. Nature abhors a vacuum. So after you're dead, the only thing that can happen is the same experience, or the same sort of experience as when you were born. In other words, we all know very well that after people die, other people are born. And they're all you. Only you can only experience it one at a time. Everybody is I. You all know you are you. And wheresoever beings exist throughout all galaxies, it doesn't make any difference. You are all of them. And when they come into being, that's you coming into being. You know that very well. Only you don't have to remember the past in the same way you don't have to think about how you work your thyroid gland or whatever else it is. You don't have to know how to shine the sun. You just do it. Like you breathe. Doesn't it really astonish you that you are this fantastically complex thing? And that you're doing all of this and you never had any education in how to do it?
jacks off of these things. So stool doesn't vanish when you're old. That's what theft from a banking institution. So this goes very deep into us. It goes deep, deep, deep. So there's, and they have it on the .co.uk as well. And then you have it on the .uk as well, Chris. Gotcha, Jazzy. I'm gonna bro.
Okay, we're here at Red Rabbit Gourmet Burger. This is the burger. It looks alright. I tell you, the patty's pretty tiny for like such a tall burger, but the reason why I'm here is because I have a gift card. So this is another angle of this DUI stuff, but to show you something kind of amazing. This is from the Polish grocery store down the street from my house here in Chicago. How much do you think all this food costs? Look at it. You got meatballs, potatoes, rice, carrots with peas, and whatever that stuff is. $5.90. Shows you something kind of. Okay, this is an In-N-Out cheeseburger. To me, this is like the perfect cheeseburger because they cut the onion like a big slice. Okay, everybody, we are here in beautiful Moab or Green River.
I suddenly discovered that I belong.
This is Chicago cheeseburger. El Chicago hispano se busca. La policía de Chicago publicó fotografías, videos del presunto culpable de matar a policía. Okay, we're in the Polish grocery store, and here are all the Polish delicious pastries that you've ever wanted. Look, those are Nutella pierogies or paczkis. There's the Nutella, there's the apricot, there's some more. But this is a Chicago cheeseburger. This is the half slit. Okay, we're here at Paterno's in northwest side of Chicago. This is Jefferson Park. And this is the big mostaccioli.
Pretty much where you're at, said make it more of a line. We're gonna make it alleyway for them to come out of the venue.
Shema Yisrael. Okay, we're here at In-N-Out Burger where they have a double burger.
Taylor, and I said, they ought to have some.
Okay, everybody, this is the Municipal Auditorium Arena. We're here in downtown Kansas City. Just stuffed myself with Chipotle. Okay, everybody, this is Chicago cheeseburger. It's Jefferson Park News. Okay, this is an old fashioned. Okay, this is Paterno's. Okay, we're here at Super Dog. We're about to eat this juicy. Alright, everybody, this is Power and Love. Good morning.
Only limited to black people.
Okay, everybody, it's Con Smoothies. We're back. We're about to eat this delicious salad. It's our second day in a row, I think. I'll be honest, the chicken is kind of skimpy, but. Okay, we're here at the world famous Super Dog, which is a hot dog burger stand. Okay, we're here at the world famous Super Dog, which is a hot dog burger stand You're in the northwest side of Chicago. They got super burgers, thick malt, super Sundays. They're celebrating their 75th year. We just got a super dog. Life is good. I can't wait to eat this up. Oh. Okay, everybody, we are here in downtown Kansas City. We're looking. This is the chicken tortilla soup here. The women be out there in those homes. I'm gonna go relieve myself, and I'll be back. Herbs and water.
Religions of Asia, there is common ground. Because both are interested.
Hi, everybody. This is Joseph Park.
So there's one basic.
Okay, we're here in Salt Lake City at the Evo Hotel. This is a pretty big complex /
Miniature pavilions. The intention of the best.
Okay, everybody, we're here at Streets of Wood.
Not to be glorious.
Called Johnston Murphy. This is a clothing retail store, mostly from
No name is the maiden of heaven and earth. Name is the mother of all.
sort of like this, like a rock climbing store. Everybody. This is Clown's Movie Stack. Okay, it's 5:24:24.
5 cents.
Look at this Jeff's Park. This is the homeless crisis here.
Lawyer. Don't believe I've ever heard of that profession. Lawyer, he's a very important guy. Makes circumcision. What, pray tell, sir, is a circumcision? It's the latest rage. The ladies love it. Oh, right, too. Put me there, too, eh?
Also individually.
Yes.
Okay, everybody, this is Clown's Movies. We're here in Salt Lake City.
Hey, I'm trying to deprive all this micro. You're gonna ask me, just get this thing that other people were gonna.
Okay, this is Community Tavern.
Please come home now. I got beans and bologna.
Okay, we're here in Kansas City. This is the
gangster era. It's a bulletproof 1932 Cadillac that, as you can see, has been through a lot. The car has special portholes in the windows, perfect for sticking Tommy guns through. Such a specimen is undoubtedly a treat for fans of the old school gangster era. You can see the car at the Historic Auto Attractions Museum in Roskilde.
In Germany, you don't say, wow, that castle was beautiful.
It's amazing.
Not as beautiful as you, though.
Aww.
Wie so?
Boah, die Stromrechnung möchte ich nicht zahlen, ne?
Eventually, on the same day, right, getting arrested with multiple passports, right, which is already like some sort of federal charge you'll be dealing with.
Mr. Shane, what's happened to our country in the last 4 years is not to be believed. Foreign countries, I'm friends with a lot of people, they cannot believe what happened. Country, and people can get through COVID. Wes, how will you ensure?
It's funny then, isn't it, that one meditates for no reason at all, except we could say for the enjoyment of it. And here I would interpose the essential principle that meditation is supposed to be fun. It's not something you do.
There are 3 simple changes I tell all of my arthritis patients to make. Number 1, you have to start drinking.
Seeing light in darkness, God of unfathomable goodness, the history of human agony haunts my soul. Ashes, blood, and cries pierce my heart. Diabolic schemes of oppressors plague my mind. Grant me an extra measure of strength, understanding and faith to help me find you, to discover your light amidst the blinding dread through the revolting horror. Sorting through confusion, God of truth, help me sort through the dizzying confusion of my life. My mind swirls with all that I've seen and that I've read. All that's happened to me, teach me to focus, to prioritize, to see with clarity, so that I can move on with my life.
Glad I was the leader, Jack Taylor.
God, guide me along the path of sincere humility. If I ever put on airs, stop me. Bless me with a humble spirit, with eyes that see only the good in people, with a mind always open to others' opinions, with a heart who's caring of their concerns. Teach me to humble myself even before the lowliest of your children, whose very brokenness brings them closer to you. Finding good. Oh, loving God, help me discover and uncover all that is good, all that is positive in the world. Camouflaged though they may be, let me find those elusive sparks of holy light. Let me perceive all the beauty and truth hidden within your creation. Finding good when I am confronted with baseness and evil, let all the bad fall away before me, let all the good and goodliness that lies hidden within everyone I meet shine forth and emerge as a grand reflection of beauty and light. Losing control, oh how much good I have lost in losing control of my anger, such a large portion of my life. So much growth I've let slip from my hands by allowing my burning thoughts to get the better of me. God, teach me to let go. Maintaining perspective, oh God, please help me comprehend that life in this world is fleeting, hardly more than a fantasy. At this moment I am here, as are those around me. Where will I be? Where will they be? In an hour, in a day, in a year, or in 10? Help me hold in my mind an image of the world that awaits me, of the life eternal that will follow my stay in this place of momentary fascination and revelry. And thanks my God, it has taken me time, but I'm finally learning to trust you. When I called, you answered. When I cried, you sent relief. When I was in need, you came through. You are there for me in every instance. I need only look, think, and understand, and I can always find you. There you are, always ready to help. Thank you, God, for waiting for me. Will wanting to wait in one of his most powerful statements, Rebbe Nachman unequivocally characterizes the facet of the human psyche which functions below the threshold of consciousness. The young man was bemoaning the difficulties he was encountering in his attempts to come closer to God, but I really want to be a good Jew, he insisted to Rebbe Nachman. But, said the Rebbe, do you really want to want? And praise God, you've given me the physical, emotional, and spiritual will to overcome so many obstacles that have risen before me. How many times have I faced what I perceived to be impossible, hopeless situations, and withstood them, and discovered creative solutions through which to surmount and master them. You strengthened me again and again. I know that you will never fail me. In God's will, merciful God, I know how very much you care for me. You've made me in accordance with your will. Why then don't I always want to be that which you've made me? Why do I so often fall short of all that you want me to be? In God's will, God, I want to be so many things, to do so much, to achieve so endlessly, but can anyone be everything, do everything, have everything? You alone understand the fragile balance of my soul. You invested in me the potential to make of that balance a perfect creation. Now help me fashion myself into just such a creation, in accordance with your will. Overcoming negative traits, oh God, help me perfect every element of my humaneness. Help me overcome all my negative traits, all my evil motivations. Teach me to turn bad into good. Building good traits. Traits help me grow. Teach me to strive for a soul that is pure and flawless. Let my every characteristic be impervious to evil. Surely then I can hope that I, in my very humaneness, might merge with the holiness of your existence. Perfection of the soul. God, perfect soul, you created me destined for perfection. How far have I wandered from that destiny? How much of my purity have I squandered through careless, thoughtless, self-centered behavior wanting immorality and holiness? The soul's recovery. There must be a way I can regain decency and virtue. There must be a way I can recapture the purity and perfection of my soul. God, lead me there. Don't turn me away. Open your hands and welcome me back. The gift of free will, God of wonders, you've given me the most wonderful of all gifts, the gift of free will. May my will never deviate from your holy will. Guide me always so that all the choices I make are good ones, choices that are in harmony with your will as long as I live. A world of responsibility, architect of the world, author of her story, grant me the courage to participate in the world's design, to join in the unfolding of her story. How I want to share in the responsibility of this world, to pray for her welfare, to care for her needs, to safeguard her treasures, to work for her rectification. Self-renewal, dear God, teach me to begin anew, to renew myself along with all the creation, just as you renew the entire world each day. Show me how I can break free of the constraints of my habits, the restraints of my insecurities, the shackles of my unwarranted fears. Fresh start, teach me, dear God, to make a fresh start, to break yesterday's patterns, to stop telling myself I can't where I can, I'm not when I am, I'm stuck when I am eminently free. The way home, center of all existence, help me find the way to that sacred sanctuary within myself, to the precious center of my existence. Help me discover my place in the world, that space where I truly belong, that space which belongs unconditionally to me. Dear God, I've wandered for so very long. Help me find my way home. Healing my life, dear God, what a mess I've made of my life, a hopeless mess. How will I ever right all that I've wronged, restore all that I've ruined, fix all that I've destroyed? Only you can help me, dear God. If you don't help me, what hope is there? Help me and heal my life. Reaching for wholeness, compassionate God, healer of my body, healer of my soul, heal me, strengthen my ailing body, soothe my aching heart, mend my shattered existence, make me whole. Rejuvenation, master of the world, you know the bitterness of my anguished heart, of my painful wounds, of my afflicted soul. It is more than I can bear, I beg you. Soften and sweeten the bitterness. Give me strength and courage, for my remedy too must certainly be bitter. My rejuvenation will not come easily. Healer of all, heal me.
Ladies,
Measure of eternity, eternal God, grant me a measure of eternity. Lend me some permanence to this temporal life of mine.
let's talk marriage.
Grant health, happiness, and long life to my children and to their children, and as long as they live, some part of myself will survive, something of me will live on in this world. Give me life, dear God, and life to those who come after me. Children, loving God, what is more precious than our children? Is there any treasure that can be more beloved, more pure than those cherished souls we have brought into the world? Help me guide them well, dear God, and help them accept my guidance. Help them lead their life with faith, wisdom, and truth. Letting go, dear God, help me grow old with dignity and wisdom. As the twilight years cast their shadow upon me. Let my mind remain clear, at peace with the world and with itself. Let me learn to let go of my bonds and with this world, of my need for honor and status, of my attraction to physical indulgences, of my envy of others, of my regrets over all that might be. Ageless aging, teach me, God, to live out my days focused on all that is meaningful in life, and its unaccountable aches and pains multiply as memory and retention fade. Teach me to relate to my physical existence with an ever-expanding recognition of its transient nature. Teach me to relate to my soul with an ever-expanding awareness of her eternal nature and ageless worth. Approaching God, my soul thirsts for you. Oh God, will I ever deserve to feel you beside me? There are so many obstacles that keep me from being what I want to be, a good person, a God-conscious person, but only I myself can change this. Help me make the effort to come closer to you. Help me long and yearn and strive for your nearness. True to self, my God, teach me to be true to myself. Never let me be swayed by the approval or the disapproval of others. Let me learn to depend on no one but you, and to look nowhere but within, to come to know my true self, that person I really am. In tune with God, oh dear God, be with me and help me strive to come close, to be fully committed to you. Let every part of me, physical, emotional, and spiritual, join in focused determination to fulfill your will. May my thoughts, my emotions, my words, and all my actions be wholly in tune with you. And thanks, oh God, I can never thank you enough for leading me toward the path to wholeness in life. You've shown me how to make my desires akin to your will, the way to rectification and renewal, to deep solace and healing, to meaning and eternal tranquility, is only through actively seeking your will. Thank you, God, for leading me to that understanding.
This is the special thing about Buddhism. Everything in Buddhism sounds negative. Let's put it this way. Let's suppose you engage yourself in a relationship with the Buddha, or with one. I mean, there are hundreds of Buddhas. One we call Gautama is just the historical Buddha that everybody knows about. But one Buddha leads to another, because as a result of his relationships with people, he turns them into Buddhas too, awakened people. Now you meet one of these people, and he's going to give you a rough time. But one of the Buddhas running around these days is Krishnamurti. And Krishnamurti absolutely destroys everybody's religion. Why do you believe this? Why are you hanging on to that? Why do you want to insist that this idea is so? See? And he shows you that all your fixed formulations, all the ideas to which you cling, are spurious. And Buddhism was one of the ways of doing just that. So one might say simply this, to try and sum up what Buddhism is about. The word Buddha is derived from the root Bud in Sanskrit, B-U-D-H, which means to be awake. So the Buddha is the awakened man, the man who woke up. What does he wake up from? Obviously a dream. And what kind of a dream is this? Well, I would call it a state of hypnosis. And this state of hypnosis, although I'm using hypnosis in a rather archaic sense of the word, is a state of being entranced, spellbound, fascinated, and this is called in Sanskrit avidya. A-V-I-D-Y-A. Vidya is knowledge in Sanskrit. And it is the root from which we get videre in Latin, to see, and so vision in English.
We're going through checking a shopping list.
So putting the A in front of it means non. Avidya, not seeing. Ignorance, ignorance. Where you see but you ignore everything that you're not looking at. When you put the beak of a chicken on a white chalk line, and the chicken...
This is going to change your lead generation. This is the Listings Lab Guide. This is the entire methodology that I use to grow my own 7-figure business. It's about 3 things.
The golden sayings of Epictetus. Are these the only works of providence in us? Would words suffice to praise or set them forth? Had we but understanding, should we ever cease hymning and blessing the divine power, both openly and in secret, and telling of his gracious gifts? Whether or plowing or eating, should we not sing the hymn to God? Great is God, for that he hath given instruments to till the ground withal. Great is God, for that he hath given us hands, and the power of swallowing and digesting, of unconsciously growing and breathing while we sleep. Thus should we ever have sung, yea, and this, the grandest and divinest hymn of all. Great is God, for that he hath given us a mind to apprehend these things, and duly to use them. What then? Seeing that most of you are blinded, should there not be some one to fill this place, and sing the hymn to God on behalf of all men? What else can I, that am old and lame, do but sing to God? Were I a nightingale, I should do after the manner of a nightingale. Were I a swan, I should do after the manner of a swan. But now, since I am a reasonable being, I must sing to God. That is my work, I do it, nor will I desert this my post, as long as it is granted me to hold it. And upon you, too, I call to join in this self-same hymn. How then do men act? As though one returning to his country who had sojourned for the night in a fair inn should be so captivated thereby as to take up his abode there. Friend, thou hast forgotten thine intention. This was not thy destination, but only lay on the way thither. Nay, but it is a proper place, and how many more of the sort there be, only to pass through upon thy way. Thy purpose was to return to thy country, to relieve the kinsman's fears for thee, thyself to discharge the duties of a citizen, to marry a wife, to beget offspring, and to fill the appointed round of office. Thou didst not come to choose out what places are most pleasant, but rather to return to that wherein thou wast born and where thou wert appointed to be a citizen. Try to enjoy the great festival of life with other men. But I have one whom I must please, to whom I must be subject, whom I must obey, God, and those who come next to him. He hath entrusted me with myself, he hath made my will subject to myself alone, and given me rules for the right use thereof.
What would you say to someone who sort of...
Rufus used to say, if you have leisure to praise me, what I say is not In truth, he spoke in such wise that each of us who sat there thought that someone had accused him to Rufus, so surely did he lay his finger on the very deeds we did, so surely display the faults of each before his very eyes. But what saith God? Ask her if she'll start arresting and punishing gangs. Had it been possible, Epictetus, I would have made both that body of thine and thy possessions free and unimpeded, but as it is, be not deceived. It is not thine own. It is but finely tempered clay. Since then this I could not do. I have given thee a portion of myself and the power of desiring, declining, and pursuing, and avoiding. In a word, the power of dealing with the things of sense. And if thou neglect not this, but place all that thou hast therein, thou shalt never be let or hindered, thou shalt never lament, thou shalt not blame or flatter any. What then seemeth this to thee a little thing, God forbid, be content then therewith, and so I pray the gods. What saith Antisthenes, hast thou never heard? It is a kingly thing, Osiris, to do well and to be evil spoken of. Aye, but to debase myself thus were unworthy of me. That said, Epictetus, is for you to consider, not for me. You know yourself what you are worth in your own eyes, and at what price you will sell yourself, for men sell themselves at various prices. This was why, when Florus was deliberating whether he should appear at Nero's shows, taking part in the performance himself, Agrippinus replied, appear by all means. And when Florus inquired, but why do not you appear? He answered, because I do not even consider the question. For the man who has once stooped to consider such questions, to reckon up the value of external things, is not far from forgetting what manner of man he is. Why, what is it that you ask me? Is death preferable or life? I reply life. Pain or pleasure? I reply pleasure. Well, but if I do not act, I shall lose my head. Then go and act, but for my part I will not act. Why? Because you think yourself but one among the many threads which make up the texture of the doublet. You should aim at being like men in general, just as
actual question and actual situation. Of Israel, but we have to find some kind of solution with Israel, and this is the, this is, nobody has the guts to say some things like this. Politicians haven't been that brave to say things like that and get elected, although they have said some things like that. So, and but let's pray to God that I think we have also a little bit luck in France, in our European neighbor, most important country now in European Union, for our security and for our diplomacy. France is the most important country. Of course, Germany's role is also important, but I mean all of the countries are important. But France is the only nuclear power in European nuclear. Their army is very strong. So, and I hope that Mélenchon and this middle left government could be kind of also for some places in Germany, like the state of Thuringen and Sachsen. Since we also go to election in September. So I land my point. Thank you very much. I hope that I haven't bothered you that much.
I have a last question to you. I'm sorry. It's not the
Your
first
thread has no
once
ambition either to be anything distinguished compared with the other threads, but I desire to be the pebble, that small and shining part which makes the rest seem fair and beautiful. Why then do you bid me become even as the multitude? Then were I no longer the pebble. If a man could be thoroughly penetrated as he ought with this thought that we are all in an especial manner sprung from God, and that God is the Father of men as well as of gods, full surely he would never conceive aught ignoble or base of himself, whereas if Caesar were to adopt you, your haughty looks would be intolerable. Will you not be elated at knowing that you are the Son of God? Now, however, it is not so with us, but seeing that in our birth these two things are commingled, the body which we share with the animals, and the reason and thought which we share with the gods. Many decline towards this unhappy kinship with the dead, few rise to the blessed kinship with the divine. Since then every one must deal with each thing according to the view which he forms about it, those few who hold that they are born for fidelity, modesty, and unerring sureness in dealing with the things of sense, never conceive aught base or ignoble of themselves, but the multitude the contrary. Why, what am I, a wretched human creature with this miserable flesh of mine? Miserable indeed, but you have something better than the paltry flesh of yours. Why then cling to the one and neglect the other? Thou art but a poor soul laden with a lifeless body. The other day I had an iron lamp placed beside my household gods. I heard a noise at the door, and hastening down found my lamp carried off. I reflected that the culprit was in no very strange case. Tomorrow, my friend, I said, you will find an earthenware lamp, for a man can only lose what he has. The reason why I lost my lamp was that the thief was superior to me in vigilance. He paid, however, this price for the lamp, that in exchange for it he hastened to become a thief, in exchange for it to become faithless. If we were as intent upon our own business as the old fellows at Rome are upon what interests them, we too might perhaps accomplish something. I know a man older than I am, now superintendent of the corn market at Rome, and I remember when he passed through this place on his way back from exile, what an account he gave me of his former life, declaring that for the future, once home again, his only care should be to pass his remaining years in quiet and tranquility. For how few years have I left, he cried. That, I said, you will not do. But the moment the scent of Rome is in your nostrils, you will forget it all, and if you can but gain admission to court, you'll be glad enough to elbow your way in, and thank God for it. Epictetus, he replied, if you ever find me setting as much as 1 foot within the court, think what you will of me. Well, as it was, what did he do ere ever he entered the city? He was met by dispatch from the emperor. He took it and forgot the whole of his resolutions. From that moment he has been piling one thing upon another. I should like to be beside him, to remind him of what he said when passing this way, and to add how much better a prophet I am than you. What then? Do I say man is not made for an active life? Far from it, but there is a great difference between other men's occupations and ours. A glance at theirs will make it clear to you. All day long they do nothing but calculate, contrive, consult how to wring their profit out of foodstuffs, farm plots, and the like. Whereas I entreat you to learn what the administration of the world is, and what place it being endowed with reason holds therein, to consider what you are yourself, and wherein your good and evil consists. A man asked me to write to Rome on his behalf, who, as most people thought, had met with misfortune, for having been before wealthy and distinguished, he had afterwards lost all and was living here. So I wrote about him in a humble style. He, however, on reading the letter, returned it to me with the words, I asked for your help, not for your pity. No evil has happened unto me. True instruction is this, to learn to wish that each thing should come to pass as it does. And how does it come to pass? As the disposer has disposed it.
Now he has disposed that there should be summer and winter, plenty and dearth, and vice and virtue, and all such opposites for the harmony of the whole. Have this thought ever present with thee, when thou losest any outward thing, what thou gainest in its stead? And if this be the more precious, say not, I have suffered loss. Concerning the gods, there are who deny the very existence of the Godhead. Others say that it exists, but neither bestirs nor concerns itself, nor has forethought for anything. Third party attribute to it existence and forethought, but only for great and heavenly matters, not for anything that is on earth. A fourth party admit things on earth as well as in heaven, but only in general, and not with respect to each individual. A fifth of whom were Ulysses and Socrates, are those that cry, I move not without thy knowledge. Considering all these things, the good and true man submits his judgment to him that administers the universe, even as good citizens, to the law of the state. And he that is being instructed should come thus minded, how may I in all things follow the gods? And how may I satisfied with the divine administration? And how may I become free? For he is free for whom all things come to pass, according to his will, and whom none can hinder. What then is freedom? Madness? God forbid, for madness and freedom exist not together. But I wish all that I desire to come to pass, and in the manner that I desire. You are mad, you are beside yourself. Know you not that freedom is a glorious thing and of great worth? But that what I desired at random, I should wish at random to come to pass, so far from being noble, may well be exceeding base. You must know that it is no easy thing for a principle to become a man's own, unless each day he maintained it, and hear it maintained, as well as work it out in life. You are impatient and hard to please. If alone you call it solitude, if in the company of men you dub them conspirators and thieves, and find fault with your very parents, children, brothers, and neighbors, whereas when by yourself you should have called it tranquility and freedom, and herein deemed yourself like unto the gods. And when in the company of the many you should not have called it a wearisome crowd and tumult, but an assembly and a tribunal, and thus accepted all with contentment. What then is the chastisement of those who accept it? Not to be as they are. Is any discontented with being alone? Let him be in solitude. Is any discontented with his parents? Let him be a bad son and lament. Is any discontented with his children? Let him be a bad father. Throw him into prison. What prison? Where he is already, for he is there against his will. And wherever a man is against his will, there to him is a prison. Now Socrates was not in prison, since he was there with his own consent. Knowing thou what respect thou art in comparison with the universe, that is, with respect to the body, since with respect to reason thou art not inferior to the gods, no less than they. For the greatness of reason is not measured by length or height, but by the resolves of the mind. Place then thy happiness in that wherein thou art equal to the gods. Asked how a man might eat acceptably to the gods, Epictetus replied, if when he eats he can be just, cheerful, equable, temperate, and orderly, can he not thus eat acceptably to the gods? But when you call for warm water and your slave does not answer, or when he answers brings it lukewarm, or is not even found to be in a house at all, then not to be vexed nor burst with anger, is not that acceptable to the gods? But how can one endure such people? Slave, will you not endure your own brother that has got to his forefather, even as a son sprung from the same stock, and of the same high descent as yourself? And if you are stationed in a high position, are you therefore forthwith to set up for a tyrant? Remember who you are and whom you rule, that they are by nature your kinsmen, your brothers, the offspring of God. But I paid a price for them, not they for me. Do you see whither you are looking? Down to the earth, to the pie, to the pit, to those despicable laws of the dead, but to the laws of the gods you do not look. When we are invited to a banquet, we take what is set before us, and were one to call upon his host to set fish upon the table, or sweet things, he would be deemed absurd. Yet in a word, we ask the gods for what they do not give, and that although they have given us so many things, asked how a man might convince himself that every single act of this was under the eye of God, Epictetus answered, "Do you not hold that all things are bound together in one?" "I do." "Well, and do you not hold that things on earth and things in heaven are continuous and in unison with each other?" "I do," was the reply. "Else how should the trees so regularly, as though by God's command, at his bidding flower, at his bidding send forth shoots, bear fruit and ripen it, at his bidding let it fall and shed their leaves, folded up upon themselves lie in quietness and rest? How else, as the moon waxes and wanes, as the sun approaches and recedes, can it be that such vicissitude and alternation is seen
America
in
is
every
ruled
things?
by racist,
If then all things
fascist,
that grow,
clown,
nay, our own
Democrats
bodies
who are
are thus
angry,
bound up with the
complaining,
whole,
tearing down
is
America
it not
one
this
emotion
still
and
truer
lie
of the
every day?
souls? And if our souls are bound up and in contact with God as being very parts and fragments plucked from himself, shall he not feel every movement theirs as though it were his own, and belonging to his own nature? But you say I cannot comprehend all this at once. Why, who told you that your powers were equal to God's? Yet God hath placed by the side of each a man's own guardian spirit. To the Stoics, the guardian spirit was each man's reason, who is charged to watch over him, the guardian who sleeps, nor is deceived. For to what better or more watchful guardian could he have committed each of us? So when you have shut the doors and made a darkness within, remember never to say that you are alone, for you are not alone, but God is within, and your guardian spirit. What light do they need to behold what you do? To this God you also should have sworn allegiance, even as soldiers unto Caesar. They, when their service is hired, swear to hold the life of Caesar dearer than all else. And will you not swear your oath, that are deemed worthy of so many and great gifts? And will you not keep your oath when you have sworn it? And what oath will you swear? Never to disobey, never to arraign or murmur at aught that comes to you from his hand, never unwillingly to do or suffer aught that necessity lays upon you. Is this oath like theirs? They swear to hold no other dearer than Caesar, you to hold our true selves dearer than all else beside. How shall my brother cease to be wroth with me? Bring him to me, and I will tell him, but to thee I have nothing to say about his anger. When one took counsel of Epictetus, saying, What I seek is this, how even though my brother be not reconciled to me, I may still remain as nature would have me to be. He replied, All great things are slow of growth, nay, this is true even of a grape or of a fig. If then you say to me now, I desire a fig, I shall answer, it needs time. Wait till it first flower, then cast its blossom, then ripen. Whereas when the fruit of the fig tree reaches not to maturity suddenly, nor yet in a single hour, do you nevertheless desire so quickly and easily to reap the fruit to the mind of man? Nay, expect it not, even though I bade you. Epaphroditus had a shoemaker whom he sold as being good for nothing. This fellow by some accident was afterwards purchased by one of Caesar's men, and became shoemaker to Caesar. You should have seen what respect Epaphroditus paid him then. How does the good Felicion kindly let me know? And if any of us inquired, what is Epaphroditus doing? The answer was, he is consulting about so-and-so with Felicion.
Hey, John.
Hey, Dad, how's it going?
Good. What's up?
Nothing. I'm about to go to the gym in a little bit and then just do some paperwork and some gardening today.
You're living the watchtowers of the rich and the famous.
I see all these suckers walking to the train every day. I was like, you losers, you didn't figure it out? Just talk to your doctor and your lawyer.
My son's a scam artist, yes.
Well, I'm not getting paid. How am I scamming anybody?
Yeah, you're... Hold on, one sec. I'm sorry, go ahead. What did you say?
Are you talking to me?
John, did I lose you? Oh, I thought I lost you for a minute. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm in the car traveling, so I thought I might have
Yeah, no worries. What are you doing today?
Nothing. Taking Dolly. She has to go for a shot.
Oh, she needs
Take her
her.
to the bed.
What kind of shot is she getting?
Bordetella.
What's
It's a
that,
thing
like
where I
worms?
guess it's like they get a respiratory infection.
Huh.
Very expensive having 2 dogs.
Oh, you have 2 dogs?
Yeah, we got we got Goldilocks. Goldilocks, the one that always was chasing the ball in the park real fast. Remember her?
Yeah, I remember her. What was the second dog?
Dolly, our little Dolly, the Yorkie Maltese, the black one.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, and both of them we have to get haircuts, and they're $60 a piece every month, $120, plus medical and stuff. It's like supporting a child.
Yeah. They're worth it though. It's kind of like a designer toy in many ways.
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit like a robot, but you got to really take care of that thing.
Yeah, they're dependent on you. It's like having a dependent. When I went to visit Earl, he opened the front door, and his little white dog ran away. The dog is totally untrained. And he doesn't walk the dog. He put a little door in to the lanai so the dog go in now and take a shit on the patio or pee, whatever.
That's technically probably how he raised his kids.
Yeah, so anyway, when the dog took off, I went after the dog. The dog was running around the neighborhood there, but I finally, the dog saw me, and I pretended like I had food, and the dog came right up to me.
Yeah.
And I grabbed him. And I see Earl, he's driving around in his car. And I said, now, how did you expect to catch the dog driving your car? So I don't know, I was going to drive around until I found the dog.
Yeah, one time when I was at Barton's house one time, I think Earl was backing up out of the driveway and he just slammed right into the neighbor's mailbox across the street and knocked it off the post. And
really?
Yeah, and so he's like, oh shit. He's like, don't say anything. And I was like, yeah, don't say anything. I was like, don't go over there and tell him you're sorry or try to fix it or anything. He's like, yeah, just don't say anything. He's like, they won't know it was me.
It's like when I went to visit a lawyer once when Earl got sued for his product that did $150,000 damage to somebody's house. His toilet thing, his bidet. When I went to the lawyer to see him, he said, I like your brother. He said, but he thinks I work for nothing.
Yeah. That was the same thing with Barton. Barton gave me a 1969 Delta 88 convertible. He gave me the title, and then we drove up to Crystal Lake to see the guy who was working on it. And he told me, he's like, I like your uncle Bart, but he thinks I work for free.
Yeah.
He was getting him to fix a car for free, and he wanted him to buy an insurance policy.
Yeah. Earl still has Illinois plates on his car here in Florida, although he lives here.
Oh, that's because he's got the garage to protect his ass.
No, actually, I don't know. When I went there, the car was actually outside.
Oh, he doesn't even park in the garage?
I don't know, it's probably a hoarder, maybe, that's shit in the garage. I don't know.
Oh my
He
gosh.
looks like a hoarder.
Like, how does he still have his hair? That's what I don't understand.
He doesn't wash it.
So it just sits there permanently? It never moves? Does it grow?
I don't know. I guess it grows. I don't know. He's very dirty looking. I mean, his hair looks like it's really dirty. But I heard he doesn't even wash or touch his hair.
Ugh.
But yeah, that's all genetics, I guess.
What is wrong? He must have a mental health problem. He must, because the brain must not be firing. I mean, to live your life like that, it's disgusting.
Well, if he chooses that, he got kind of angry with me because I told him he likes stuff. What he does is he was texting me or emailing me, texting me basically, and he likes to get into these discussions and arguments and controversies. He likes to have like a debate. And I said, Earl, I don't need it. I'm not here. I don't have to debate anybody. I said, you have your views, I have mine, but it's a waste of time. You're not going to convince me, and I'm not going to convince you, so why bother?
Yeah, he just doesn't
Then
get
I
it.
told him, Earl, I said, why isn't just sitting at your kitchen table with your cell phone on a stand? I said, you should get dressed, put on your best clothes, take a shave, clean up, go out, meet people, have a life. He said, you don't know what you're talking about. He'll be back. So I haven't heard from him since.
Well, I don't know. That honestly, maybe he never grew up or something. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Hey, look, I can't explain people. I'm sure. I have my own idiosyncrasies, I'm sure. We all do.
Well, the thing is, when you know, there's no more argument. There's no more discussion. There is no more debate. So it's like, I thought out of all the people, he'd be the guy who knew that. But that's the thing, when you have a brother, you know, maybe when you're an older brother, you think, you know, there's that special dynamic where you think shit rolls downhill.
I don't know. No, I think he does that with everyone. He loves to debate. I remember one time he was sitting at a kitchen table with Sima when my grandmother was still alive, and he was telling Sima how he knows how the economy works, and she doesn't know anything about the economy and finance. He said, I know, I understand it, I do it. So I said to Earl, Earl, if you understand it, so how come you didn't make any money?
Yeah.
If you understand it so well, how come you didn't make a fortune?
Do you remember one time you told me you were like, ask Uncle Mark about the third law of thermodynamics? And like he knew it right off the top of his head, and you were like, holy shit.
Yeah. Oh, Mark Rich?
Yeah, you told me to ask him because you had like some popular mechanics magazine, and you were like, let's see how smart Mark really is. And you said, ask him what the third rule of thermodynamics are, and like he knew the answer. And you were really surprised. You were like, holy shit.
One time, Mark I was with my friend Fred Quintari at the time. I was in their house in Georgia, and Mark was talking about how the Earth, the continental shelf shifted.
Uh-huh.
he said, yeah, it shifted over here. You could see how Africa was connected once to South America. It looked like a puzzle.
Yeah.
You put them together. So Scott Fred said, yeah, he says, I knew that already. He said, how'd you know? He said, I read in the Bible, Earth parted.
He said, I read it in the Bible, what?
You read in the Bible that the Earth parted. It's so funny.
That is funny.
And then he asked us to move a television, the console TV. And when he moved it, something fell out of the TV, like from the inside. And it looked like a little crown. And Mark said to this guy, Fred, what the hell is that? And this guy, Fred, said, obviously, it's from the king, too. those TVs at the time.
Yeah, tubes, yeah, that's funny. Oh, didn't that guy Frank Atari die in a church shooting or something?
His wife did. His wife got some guy. He was at church in Wisconsin. Some guy came in there, killed his wife, and shot like 2 or 3 other people.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Then he got remarried, I think, and his next wife, I think she died of cancer.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. I saw him a few years ago. I didn't say anything, but I saw him. He was as big as a house. He was the weight like 300 pounds.
Oh, I saw a friend of mine on the street in the Gold Coast. He was so obese, I couldn't believe it. I was just like, I was in shock. I didn't know what to say to him.
Yeah.
It was very sad.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Sometimes people, sometimes you can't recognize them. The guy said, yeah, that's why I hate to go to reunions, because I see people and I think, how ugly these people are. Just then I finally look in the mirror.
It's true. It's true.
There's a guy, I forgot his name. I was watching him. He's a comedian, but he's very clean. There's nothing dirty, but he's pretty funny. He said, remember when COVID happened? He said, the first time I put on my mask, I said, Jesus, my breath smell like that? And he said, I owe a lot of people an apology. That was so funny.
Yeah, so I can't believe it. Some people do not floss their teeth. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, some people don't brush teeth, but some people don't brush their teeth. Hey, I was just talking to David Bramasco. Remember David Bramasco?
Yeah.
He was a church guy.
Yeah.
Well, I talked to him. He left the church. He doesn't go to church anymore. But I talked to him just yesterday, and he told me that, and I know he had glaucoma.
Yeah.
And when you have glaucoma, you usually take drops every day to
Wow.
keep your eye pressure down. Otherwise, you'll damage your eye. Which is a good reason you should get an eye exam every year, John, just in case.
Yeah, yeah.
You forget.
I can get those.
And a place to go. I don't know if you don't have insurance, but that Northwestern Eye Clinic is renowned, I guess, in your area.
I have insurance.
Anyway.
I have insurance.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, get your eyes checked once a year. But anyway, he told me, well, COVID happened, he couldn't get his prescription filled for like 6 months. I said, are you crazy? He said, yeah, I called the doctor, and they said they weren't taking any patients. I said, you got to take that every day. He said, yeah, it damaged my eyes so much I can't drive now.
Oh my God.
And I said, you went for almost 6 months? Yeah, and when I finally talked to the doctor, he says, what are you talking about? I gave you a prescription for over a year.
Oh,
You
fuck.
should just call me and said, you want the prescription? So
Oh my God. Oy vey.
this is how dumb I can't believe it.
Oh boy. That's sad.
Yeah.
Nice. You know, that's the thing. Is a really nice guy, you know, but I mean, if your brain can't figure some shit out, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah, I mean, that's, just knowing that, you have to go drops in your eye every day. Now, Patty has glaucoma, and she had some damage, but she has to take, the specialist said, you take these drops every day. Do not miss a day.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep your eye pressure down.
Yeah.
That's what it does.
Is it a steroid or what is it?
I don't know. It's a drop. You put it once a day at nighttime before you go to bed. And it reduces the pressure in the eye somehow. I don't know.
It's kind of interesting to think that your eyes are connected to your brain. So in many ways, your eyes are like an extension of your brain.
Yeah. Now, that's what always, sometimes when I look back, John, I figure how stupid I was to ever think there wasn't a God, that somebody had to create this design. It couldn't happen by itself.
I know, but that's like natural. You have to eventually try to like imagine that that this is all just, random. Or the thing is, people who believe in Darwin and whatnot, I don't know. There's still no real explanation. So, it's one of those things where it is one of those. Yeah, it's one of the most important things to think about in your life.
Did you know that your eyes, through your eyes, you actually see upside down and your brain twisted?
Yeah, it's like an inversion.
Yeah, it's amazing. The whole thing is just, it couldn't have happened by accident. Somebody had a design. The designer always requires a designer. There's no way around it.
Well, there's a deity for sure. That's the interesting thing is, if you pray, if you pray out loud or you pray, and you really are sincere, it's possible that God hears you, which is one of those, you can call me crazy if you want, and say that I talk to God, but, it just depends on what you want to do in your life. What are your goals, your objectives? What problem are you trying to solve? And, if you believe there's a God, God can help you achieve what you want to achieve in life. So that's like the good news for these young people who are kind of mixed up in atheism and agnosticism, and they don't really have any strength or courage or faith or wisdom to guide them. The youth today is, I thank God you had those Garner Ted Armstrong books in the basement,
I was going to say, I just heard on the news 100 people were shot in Chicago over the weekend.
Oh, it's insane. It's so dangerous. People don't want to leave their house at night because they're afraid they're going to get robbed or shot.
Yeah, I heard Michigan Avenue closes at 5 o'clock now. It's dead.
Oh yeah, Yeah, there's roving gangs. They come from the south side, they strike, and they flee. When I was in Hermosa Beach, California, they were having a huge problem every single Friday, Saturday night with 500 people gathering when the bars would let out. So they bought one of those watchtowers, and so they control the situation with a watchtower, and there's no way to get in and out. So they would target people for DUIs. They would target the people who start the fights. There's no real intelligence at the police department in terms of, like, they don't have permanent watchtowers. They, in these hot districts, they need to put permanent mobile watchtowers with employees, monitoring, and give them sniper rifles.
It's not like where they have. Can't shoot anybody. Nobody wants to shoot anybody because they know you'll be indicted.
I know, but can you imagine? Can you imagine if your neighborhood is completely controlled by, narco-terrorist gang members, and you're a little old lady, you live in fear, you paid your taxes your whole life, no politician's going to do anything? That's the thing. It's like, until an actual politician and the police department form a partnership and they're willing to take on the legal consequences of gunning down these gang members.
They're not going to. Look, half those politicians were probably gang members before they became.
I know that
city council.
the current mayor. Yesterday he had an LGBTQ South Side party, and then today he threw himself another party with his high school. That the guy is just throwing parties, every weekend. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. That's what happened. There was a lieutenant in the police department. I remember this must be like over 25 years ago. I was sitting there with Jack Lottie. He said, "Let me tell you something." He said, "When the black people get in charge of the judicial system, it will be over.
Yeah.
It will be over. There's nothing. The criminals will be running the country. That nobody will want to do anything."
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go into the vet's office, John.
Anyways, carry some duct tape with you and some earplugs.
Why's that?
So you can shut up and you can plug your ears when other people won't shut up. I'm just saying that there's so much toxicity out there that when you listen to people complaining or crying or kvetching, it's like
Listen, I have Sirius satellite radio.
Mm-hmm.
In my car. I have a subscription, which I like because I can actually play it in the house. We have speakers all around the house, like a sound system, and it connects to Alexa, and Alexa can connect to Sirius satellite radio. So I play. There's a channel called hold on one second. I forgot the name of it. Anyway, it's called Escape. They just play beautiful music, soft, beautiful music.
Mm-hmm.
It's
so
relaxing.
I know. That's the thing, yeah. Car. Exactly. Because, politics can become, just toxic content. Like, music really is the way to kind of set yourself free.
Yeah, I know. You can't listen to it too much. You go nuts listening to it. I don't listen to it 24 hours because you go crazy.
Yeah.
Go crazy with
it. You know what I got is these little. There was a church store near my old apartment, and I bought these little 3x5 note cards, and they have all these scriptural verses. So I just read through that every day, and it's like reading, the Bible on steroids because it's the best verses. So it just, it fills you with confidence and joy.
I remember that Garner Ted once said, they had in the hotels they used to have the Gideon Bible.
Yeah.
In all the hotels, in every hotel. He said he always wondered how many people might have picked up Psalms.
Yeah.
And who might have contemplated suicide. It helped people understand.
Well, not just, it saved them from suicide, but it saved them from loneliness and depression because, it's amazing how a book is basically an external hard drive.
Yeah.
And you can put that book inside of you, and when you do, you're taking the most powerful wisdom and putting it in your sight, in your mind. And people don't do that. They just watch television and look at their cell phone all day long. That's why that's why I worry about, Samantha and her fiance. Because I said that they don't read the good news. They just living a materialistic lifestyle. Oh, I'm going fishing. Oh, I bought a new car. This and that. It's like, okay, you guys could slow it down and try to appreciate what you have. You guys are chasing something. There's nothing to chase. Be happy now. Be happy with your relationship. Work on your education.
I remember when I used to work for this guy, one of Patty's clients. He was that wealthy guy, really wealthy. He had 2 jets. He had a helicopter.
Yeah.
3 hangars in Waukegan. He died, and a very unhappy guy. But one time he had 5 dogs, 5 beautiful dogs. And I remember I told him when we got a new dog, I said, I put a bell by the door. I'm trying to train the dog, and we want you to go out to ring the bell. He gave me the funniest look. He said, "Good luck with that." It never did work. Just the way he looked at me and said, "Good luck with that." So when you tell people certain things, John, I say it. When I tell people things, I think of that guy's face looking at me. Good luck with that. I'm really going to listen. It's too funny. All right, John. Well, be safe.
Okay, you too. God bless. Talk to you soon.
All right.
Okay,
Talk to
take
you
care.
later. Bye.
Bye.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
Persian booty hole. Hey, do you want to call Daniela? Just send me $400.
Sure. All right, cash at me $400, and then I'll conference call Daniela in for you, so you can all your fantasies.
Hell no, man.
All your fantasies can come true.
$1, man.
Your obsessions can come true. Maybe you can make her. Maybe you can fuck her in the booty hole, and we can become Eskimo brothers.
Obsession, bro. I can't go there because you've already been there. It'd be too weird.
That's right. Booty hole Eskimo brothers.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Like,
That's
after
right.
doing that, like, she was painted. Nobody wanted her after that.
Oh, damn. Oh, if you told her that.
The truth hurts.
Oh, shit. Oh, she'd hate
She's probably
you.
recording me.
She'd hate you. She'd never want to talk to you again if she knew that you thought about her that way.
Dude, come on, man. You told that to everybody. That was the funniest part. You was like,
fuck it. Like, who cares, It's like, fuck these putas. They're all putas, man. She's one of the worst ones. You know how many guys she has probably milked and a hardcore milked them, And she complains, oh, these guys leave me. And it's like, bitch, it's like you just looking for a free meal 7 days a week. Fuck you.
that's everybody, though, man. That's nothing exclusive.
Yeah, but she should have gotten married to some Jewish guy like her sister. Instead, she's got a fucking ego. She thinks she's hot shit, but she don't know that she's gonna die and get ugly, just like everybody else. And she knows that she just doesn't understand time. Time is cruel, and it gets more cruel.
How's it going with you and your lawsuit? Have they taken your house yet?
No, I'm sitting here in my office, picking my toes, drinking some wine, smoking some weed, trolling people.
Troll. That's your specialty.
It's a little bit
that
like dirty
was the
work.
best part. That's like when my friend went to go see Louis in Orange County, and I was like, remember that guy John Kitover? I was like, that's awesome. Like, dude, that guy's crazy, man. He threw a brick through Louis' window. I'm like, through the window? He said, no, like through a window in the door.
Yeah. That's what he told me. I was like, he hung up on me. He's like, don't call me, I'll call you.
All right, I gotta. Bye.
Peace.
John.
Happy birthday, Sultana.
Thanks, John. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I just want to give you your birthday gift. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Just repeat after me. The more you think.
John.
I'm serious. This is your birthday present. Go ahead. Repeat after me. The more you think. Say it after me. This is your meditation. The more you think.
The more you think.
The more you speak.
The more you speak.
The further from the truth.
The further from the truth.
You're gonna get. Happy birthday.
I see.
If you remember that, you'll know that when you start thinking and speaking, you've already lost. You're a loser. You're fired.
That's not a very positive way to start today, John.
I just gave you a little secret tidbit, deep psychological, philosophical perspective, and not many people have ever said what you just said, so consider it a very valuable birthday gift.
I see. Okay. Well, what are you doing today?
I'm going to the gym.